Yo, I'm tired of writing verses like this. Tired of asking, yo, what would they treat a person like this? Tired of going online and seeing black people hurting like this. And after that, I clock in. I can't be working like this. This is murder and cruelty. America, you gave them the impunity, and now we come together showing unity, and yes, it's destructive. A protest is disruptive. Remember how y'all got this land? Don't arrest those for justice. Now, white allies, don't try to walk around it. Let's talk about it and understand why there's a young black body with chalk around it. And if you're feeling uncomfortable with the dialogue, imagine having this black skin. Wish you could try it on. When I saw that devil kneel on his neck with his hands in his pocket while George was pleading for breath, you want us dead. Not even in a legal arrest. And y'all think every protest will be a peaceful event. Now, I ain't with the looting and the millions of damages, but we ain't focused on that. Let's think of the catalyst. And check this out. If y'all want these streets to stay quiet, no black men killed by the police, then no riots.
All right, guys, you guys are tuned in. It is the Lyrical Fix Podcast, episode 41.
41.
So stupid. That was Proetic.
A little bit of the poetry bars.
And here it is, Bronxlyn, land of the fucking free.
We're not named for free, though.
What up, Bronxlyn? What up, Buggy?
You know, it's funny. I seen this post. I never got to finish watching it.
Purge.
I seen it, and it's funny because Bronxlyn also commented in the post and goes, "More people got to hear this."
Yep.
That's crazy.
Shout to the little bro. Could have charged, but I'd rather see you home. My fam is filled with black kings. I share a team of room and trap things.
So fire.
Fuck that, I'm out.
What is freedom?
I live my life in no fear. Take a knee if I need be. In the country.
All right. Where should we start?
And we're back.
We're back.
Well, first, let's introduce ourselves.
Yeah.
My name is Kid Pro.
My name is Sade.
And you're now tuned into Lyrical Fix Pod. You can find us on Instagram at the Lyrical Fix Pod. Check us out every episode from episode 1 to our grand 40th episode and today's episode on Audio Mac, Apple, Anchor.
Watch out with that.
Spotify, and YouTube as well. We got the clips up. We got past episodes up. And we are filming today's episode because we had a little bit of technical difficulties last week. So we're trying to get back on track. Mm-hmm. Yeah, after last week's episode, that one being like, I thought 39 was crazy. And then 40 was just on another level.
Yeah.
And here we are now.
I'm trying to think. What happened 30? Oh, yeah, 39.
39 was a lot. That's when we started getting wind of the whole George Floyd stuff.
Yeah.
And then by 40, we knew more about Breonna Taylor. We obviously already knew about Ahmaud Arbery. And we were getting more information going on. And we were just gearing up to go to a protest the next day. So a lot's happened in the past week. Not just with us, but just around the world. I don't know. I don't even know where to start, man. We could just start with the protest we went to. We filmed on Thursday last week. Mm-hmm. Went to Greenhouse afterwards. Shout out
that
to
was
everybody
amazing.
There. That was great to get back up with a couple of friends.
Yeah.
So shout out to everybody at Greenhouse that was there.
Yeah, and it's funny because I was thinking that in that moment, like when I was asking them a bunch of questions, I almost felt like I should have prefaced it with like, no, like this isn't like media Sade. Like I'm not gonna say anything. Like don't worry.
Oh yeah. I feel like we have to nowadays with people.
Yeah, I got that feeling, but then at the same time, like they did tell me shit, so it's like, okay, no, this is like I almost was like, no, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna say this on the podcast.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, like am I gonna have to start saying that now?
Has it gotten to a point with you? Like, are you like having trouble like differentiating yourself between like regular Sade and podcast Sade? Because I feel like whenever I get in a phone conversation with one of my friends for more than 20 minutes, I start treating it like a podcast.
Really?
Yeah, not a regular conversation. Like I'm just always having mini podcasts with people.
I mean, like I've done like interviews here and there before, but nothing like how like kind of like what we do. I mean, it's more so like regular conversation, but I feel like when it comes to certain things like new stuff, like what like projects that we know our friends are doing, or like things that like it's like I already know, like I'm not gonna mention it. I'll probably hint to it. Yeah. Like with the whole prospect and guest thing, I was like, oh, there's a track, and then on the story, guest prospect is like, oh no, she's talking about. I was like, oh, I didn't know if I could say anything, so I didn't.
I figured that's what it was.
Yeah, it's like little things here and there where I to play it safe, I'll reference it, but I won't say it right away.
Yeah, I figured that was gonna happen.
Yeah, it more so. It's not in the moment for me. It's it's like in this moment where I debate. I'm like, I don't know, should I say something? So when it comes to the greenhouse, that shit was just fire. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. And so
That's all I'm saying.
it was great.
Not touching it.
And then we yeah. Oh man. And then we went to the following day. Went with a couple of friends. Shout out to Joy. Shout out to Villa.
Before we get into that, can I just say that was a beautiful moment we had at the greenhouse. Well, I was an outsider in that moment. That was beautiful.
Thursday or Friday?
Thursday.
Yes.
No, we didn't go Friday. We went again Saturday after the protest. But both of them were beautiful.
No, Thursday was great. Yeah, we definitely had a moment. That was a moment.
Missed that. Yeah,
that was great.
I got 2 hugs from guests. I mean, from Saint. Saint was like, "Oh, another one. Come here."
Yeah. No. Yeah. Saint gave you another hug too. He's like, "Man, just come here." I'm like, "Yeah, I got you, bro."
Yeah.
That was
and
all
then
love.
After we'll get to it, but after the protest, I went and I was like, I'm all sweaty, like, because we had just walked and everything. He's, man, I don't care.
That's love, man.
Yeah.
That's love, man. So shout out to everybody there. But yeah, the protest. We Sade and I went to the protest that was going on in Hackensack. I haven't really been to Hackensack much, so I didn't know what to expect. I've been hearing stuff from Sade and everybody else saying that the energy would be kind of weird. Luckily, it wasn't. It was very peaceful. We got to hear the story of, well, for me, because I didn't know, because I'm not a Hackensack resident, I got to hear Elvin Diaz's story from his mother, which happened about 5 years ago.
Yeah, there was also another one that the mother wasn't there, but it was a lot worse than the Elvin one. Oh,
okay. Well, the one that I did hear about the Elvin was similar to it was similar to the Breonna Taylor story in a sense of cops coming into the house unannounced and somebody getting shot up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if you were to hear it from the police, you'd get a completely different version than what was coming from Mrs. Diaz.
Yeah, they said because I remember when it happened, I was in college and I think I came up to visit and I drove past his house. And I'm trying to think. Yeah, it was like, it's like right next to Target. I mean, anybody in Hackensack knows. So I was driving past and I see all his shit. I'm like, the fuck? Because I'd seen something on social media, but I didn't believe it. I'm like, nah, like I didn't see too much into it. So when I had came up, I think during like maybe a break or just like having a weekend off or whatever, that's when I heard all about it. So from the cops' perspective, he had a knife, and he was like threatening or some shit like that. So they only shot him twice. But what had actually happened is they shot him 11 times. They busted in. I believe they pushed aside his mom. I believe his brother or sister, like little brother, was there. So yeah, because I didn't know Elvin too much. Like I never like chilled with him. We kind of chilled in the same circle. Would see him at parties. Like he was cool. He was super neutral. So it was fucking just chill and smoke. Like he didn't do anything. Yeah. So it was sad.
No, it was very sad. And just hearing her mom speak, especially because she was speaking first in Spanish, so it just kind of reminded me of my mom and like all the other Spanish moms that I grew up knowing, and just like you could tell like the pain was there. And I definitely didn't forget the cop's name that she mentioned, and I'm assuming that he was also Latino just because of the name, Miguel Molina. And I don't know anything about the guy, but his involvement in it, you seriously pissed off that woman. I would not want to be that dude.
She got the number down and everything.
She got everything down, man. So that dude, from what she said, to me, just a piece of shit. But you know, I definitely sending out my prayers, my condolences to her family. Now I didn't get to meet her personally. I really wanted to go up to her and just give her a hug, but it was just so many people there. And that's another thing. It was beautiful to see all those people out there. Definitely, like I would say more than like 500 people. It
had to be. I don't know any official counts. I've seen people like one of the guys that had went up to speak, who had said like, "Oh, I'm a father" and all that. Yeah. The one with the glasses. I knew who he was because I went to school with him. So before I recognized him by his voice, and then I seen him walk. I was like, okay, it is. And I also seen him at Miller's like 2 months ago. We were talking and shit.
Yeah. There was one gentleman that was the same guy that worked for Amazon. Or is somebody else?
No. The one for Amazon. I knew he looked familiar. Yeah, he's doing the whole suing them and shit for firing him. That shit was he's in the middle of that shit. And he spoke about it twice because there was a lot less people compared like when we started by Ward Street by the middle school and by the time we made it up there.
Oh yeah, because we got there at 12. They said the meetup's at 12 and the march doesn't start till 1. So we were there pretty much at 11:50. just ready for the meetup.
Yeah.
And then we pretty much hung out there, and not to even sound like funny or nothing, we were just doing like protest warm-ups. That's how I saw it.
Oh yeah, just getting like rhythm down.
Just getting the rhythm down, just hearing the chants that would be going on throughout the day. Not that they're tough or anything, or they need to be memorized.
No, but it was also good because it like there were a lot of people thinking like, damn, like we're really starting this at 1, like, So it was good to get people like amped up, like, okay, no, we're gonna do this
too. That's another thing. It was hot, even if we were wearing black. But
look,
even if we weren't,
I have a tan from my watch.
No, we all tanned. Yeah, we all definitely tanned.
No, but like I have a tan mark from my watch.
Oh yeah, I can see
like
right
look
there.
look how
The camera
yellow
can see
I
it, too.
was. Oh my God, I wonder if
we
you
were all
can.
pretty.
Yeah.
I was pretty whitish, and I definitely I've colored up. This is my natural color. I love it. Back in my essence. But yeah, the whole thing was cool. It was a nice, I would say about a 40-minute walk to the courthouse. And then the walk back took us through another direction. But everything that was going on, just the protest wise, was just great. It was very cool to be in that type of.
I didn't get to, well, before I finish about the march, because you weren't next to me. What was it? Because when we were by the, I'll just get into it now. Before we got to my high school and we did like, we were under the bridge. They said a moment of silence. Yeah. Which half the people didn't fucking do. Right. And then after that, they're like, all right, we're gonna go up Comet Way. And then they're like, make the most noise you can. They did that because once you go up, you saw the houses. Because Joy was like, she's like, damn, we're really like walking all of this. I'm like, well. Cause no, and then people were still chanting, and I had stayed quiet. And then she's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "No, I'm saving my voice," because I was like, the reason why they want us to be that loud is because these are where the white people live in Hackensack. And it was funny because
I was not told that. Okay.
Somebody, you were a little ahead of us. Somebody next to us like heard. She turned around. She's like, "Yeah," and then Joy's like, "Oh," so she's like, The girl's like, yeah, that's why we got to be loud. Like, make sure you're loud.
But that's the section where all the white people were coming out. Oh, okay. So shout out to all those white people that actually did come out, that had their signs, and then were like, showing support because they didn't have to.
Wait, I don't know. Did you hear me?
No.
There was one guy who was standing out, was standing outside. I don't know if he waved his arm or not, but I saw something in the corner of my eye, look over, and I see him like this, like with his arms out. And then go right into his house. I was like, yeah, go back, motherfucker. Like, I screamed.
I think I might have seen the guy. I was definitely paying attention to the people when I was walking by just to see who was
That was
doing
like
what.
when we got onto, shit, I'm completely blanking. Was it Summit or Polyfly? Not Polyfly. Polyfly's down. I think it was Summit. When we got up around the corner and started marching. It was one of those houses.
Like that last straightaway. I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Before like the Dunkin' Donuts and all that shit hit.
Yeah.
When we broke apart, yeah. And it's crazy. Like I thought we were walking together, and I lost you. You were in front of me a couple times. You were behind me a couple times.
Oh, I saw a guy brought my camera, so amazing fucking shots.
Oh yeah, you were all over the place.
And then when I noticed I lost everybody, I was like, oh shit. So I waited to the side to like catch you guys.
No, where you went at the courthouse, you definitely needed to be there. Like,
oh yeah,
where we were staying before you,
which was a good call by you to go up there. Yeah, I got some really. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I showed you all the pictures that I.
No,
have.
you didn't.
Yeah. I knew
it's
it.
Downpouring, of course.
Yeah, I smelled the rain. That's why I was like, oh, it's about to rain. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. No, and you definitely went up there to the top of the courthouse steps where everybody else was, where the best shots were, because you can get everybody that's speaking. There was a crowd of like 30 people there that were speaking, and then also just a big crowd of people that were around the courthouse.
Yeah.
It was great. We were standing there in extreme heat. It rained for like 2 seconds, and then
my God, it felt amazing.
While these two girls were singing, I don't know why that happened, but then it rained for like maybe 2 minutes, and then we had to walk back.
Yeah.
And then the only like weird thing that happened throughout the entire day was just one person that fainted from dehydration.
Yeah, because it was right after it rained too, and they were giving out, shout out to Covey who did this, because I seen him when we first pulled up. Yeah, we had like all the people were there. They were still letting like cars go in and out where we were gathering in the beginning. I saw him pull up, and I was like, oh shit. That's when I was like, oh shit, he used to DJ for Check It, and he took out hella water bottles. And then we seen him on Main Street. And I went up to him, I took off my mask, and he's like, oh, shit, and then gave me a water bottle.
I think I saw footage of him at another protest as well. I think he stopped somewhere else and someone shouted him out. He was out and about.
It could have been Inglewood. That makes sense.
Could have been, but shout out to Kobe because I saw him a bunch of times throughout, and I saw him through a lot of social media. So shout out to him. We're definitely staying busy throughout these protests, man. That's always good to see. Even if you're just donating something like water, anything that's helping the cause goes a long way. Whether you're giving out signs, whether you're helping people get to places, even just shouting out during a protest. I mean, I thought there were designated people. I didn't know how a protest went.
I was like random. Yeah.
Random. Just whenever you had something to say, you say it, and the people behind you, they'll chant with you. And I thought that was beautiful. Everybody was included. There was no bullshit.
Villa was like, oh, I was thinking of one, but I didn't know if there was designated people, so I didn't know if I could do it.
I wanted to get into the hey, hey, ho, ho, Donald Trump has got to go shit. But
yeah.
And you know what the funny thing was? Once we finished the walk to the courthouse, got through the speeches of the courthouse, and then we're walking back, that's when the chants got a little more R-rated.
Yeah. And you were talking shit about my cousin cursing.
Because that wasn't the part that wasn't the G-rated part.
Sure, you're right.
Yeah, exactly. So watch your fucking mouth. No, your cousin did great too, yo. He was all over the place.
Yeah, shout out to Rob.
Yeah,
he was on it. He really was on it.
I know he was sweating in that tight ass polo.
Well, that's what.
I know he was sweating his ass off, but shout out to him. And he did his thing. He was all over the place.
And he is not. He's a fighter. Like, he's not somebody to fuck with. That's why he's so serious, and it's so funny. Because like he can also be like a super clown, but then when he's serious.
Oh no, I got that.
So
that
that's why I was just like, okay.
Yeah, I saw that right away.
So I waited, and then he would give me moments like where I'm like, you have to recognize me, like you have to see me, and I'm right across from him, and he's in his like serious shit. Then all of a sudden, when we were at the gathering first, and we were like kneeling down, he just goes and like kind of blows me a kiss through the mask. I was like, okay, you see me. He would randomly like grab my arm or like wave a little bit. But yeah.
Yeah, no, it was I don't want to say it was a good time, but it was definitely an experience. It was a learning experience. That was my first time at any type of protest.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to expect. I mean, the cops there, of course, they're there. Nobody tried any funny shit. You know,
no, it was, and that was the thing that I was worried about, because when I lived in Hackensack, and then even a little bit after, like with the whole Elvin thing, and there's another one which I thought of while she was speaking, and it makes sense. It's actually a friend of my sister's, and her son actually on the same block as Elvin, but like 2-3 blocks up, or maybe a little less, he was gunned down in the street. And for a while there, like you would see like where his blood was, and like it stained the cement on the sidewalk, and they had like the candles and everything. But that one, I don't remember the entire story, but rest in peace, Raymond. Like, I never got to meet him, but I was super cool with his mom, and it was rough because she just got him from DR, so he was new out here.
God damn.
I don't know how long he was out here. I think minimum or max a year. I think max maybe a year. Maybe a little bit longer, but she just sent for him. Like, he just got back. He just got into the States.
That's fucking sad.
Yeah, right on Johnson. Like, and I every now and then, because it's the same block as my laundromat.
Yeah.
So every now and then, like if I drive through there, it's like, fuck. So that was pretty rough.
No, it was. Well, all in all.
Oh, it's actually the same block as the bar you guys went to, where Steven always performs.
Right.
It's that same block.
That same block.
It's actually within like.
Small world.
It's less than a block from where you guys were.
Shit.
Yeah. I don't even know if she still lives there. I couldn't do that.
No, I wouldn't be able to either.
No.
But I mean, as far as the protest, shout out to everybody that was there. Shout out to everybody that, posted stuff, everybody that brought signs. It was also a nice moment walking through the business district and seeing all the people with the small businesses come out and support us. I thought that was a really nice moment too.
Oh yeah, Main Street. Yeah,
Main Street. Everybody just coming
even
out.
Even the little chinitos were there.
Yeah, restaurants, good. Everybody. There were people in restaurants that were giving out water bottles to the protesters. I thought that was great too. Little kids just watching, clapping along, showing solidarity. All the minorities, because that's what it was. It was all minorities in those small businesses on Main Street that were coming out and showing support, whether they were filming, handing out the water bottles, just going on along with the chant. Like, it meant a lot. And to see that type of unity is always a beautiful thing.
Or when we the circle around, like before we hit the high school, when it's just like that Main Street, not Main Street, but it's Essex, and we're like turning around, and then you see, what was it called? You see, like, there was this guy with no shirt. Was he out there for that one when we did the roundabout?
Guy with no shirt. I'm trying to remember the guy with no shirt.
No, the no shirt was by Passaic Street. Never mind.
Oh, okay.
That shit was funny. I was just like, oh my God, look. And
Oh,
he's out there just like cheering us on.
Oh,
and
that's
shit.
right. Oh, yeah, no shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. My man with a no shirt on.
No,
That's
but
right.
forgot like where we were at. Everybody was out. We passed like our little fake projects, which was funny. I had to duck and weave.
Oh, you really did.
I didn't want him seeing me.
You really did
We
a
don't
whole
need-
duck
we
and
don't-
weave
we don't need to
thing.
say it on air,
We don't have to
but-
go on about it, but you really
Yeah.
like duck and weave.
And then
that.
I realized I had shades on. I could have just put my mask up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really just could have done that.
You
By the
yeah, we
7-Eleven.
want you really like backed out of that situation.
There were some people that if they were out on the block, I would have been like, yo, like I would have kind of stopped to talk to them and shit. But that was the one person I was just like, no, let me
If y'all could
avoid.
have seen how quick she moved out the fucking way.
He was walking out of he was walking. He doesn't even live on that block. He lives on the next block. So I don't even know why he was on Newman. But like he walked up and I was like, oh shit, ducked. I was like, damn.
Unbelievable. Oh, and then of
Yeah.
course there's always somebody. We're walking, and all of a sudden you go, and that smell just hits you, and you're like, where is this coming from? Sure
Yeah.
enough, there was a dude walking in front of us, casually just holding the shit like this, walking behind. I'm like, okay, impressive. Just you can tell when he's walking back, and I'm like, all right. Of course, he
Yeah,
wasn't gonna
that-
pass it, but it smelled nice for a second, especially.
I
on
mean,
a
if
hot day.
I didn't want to call him out, but yeah, and then it's funny because I know him.
Yeah, and you knew him
I
too,
know.
which is funny.
And it's funny because once you guys pointed it out, I'm like, why does he look so? I was like, oh, Bacon. Okay, so that's his nickname / last name. So fucking Joy was talking shit. She was like, yo, he just blew that shit in my face. He didn't even have the audacity. Well, she didn't say audacity, but like he didn't even like dare to even like share it, pass it. Like she's gonna blow that shit in my face. So I'm like, no, I'll wait. So I wait until after. I was like, Bacon. And then, of course, this is where the name comes. He's like, La Sucia. Yeah, that was cool. So
Bacon and La Sucia.
this is all I
I got
fucking
some
heard in
wild
high
nicknames.
school. Oh, no, there's worse. But, yeah, after, I forgot what year, maybe, like, sophomore year I met him. Or maybe sophomore, I forgot. And then all of it, he's like, wait, your last name's Sanchez? Like, Dirty Sanchez? So all of a sudden, La Sucia.
See,
And then that's where the drink came from.
so much better than my nickname with Jingles. All right.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, you forgot about that. Prospect didn't forget about that. He always hits me with that at some point.
Jangles.
Jingles, my man Jingles.
Oh, shit.
He's jingling.
Funny.
Yeah, the Sucia is much better. But yeah, no. Final thoughts on the protest. I thought it was great. It was nice to see people. Saw X as well. That was good. Ain't seen him since the Check It days, so it was good to reconnect with him, even though it was something quick.
Yeah.
And we joked around about something real quick, and it was just nice seeing a whole bunch of other people. Yeah, and at one point we were walking uphill, getting tired. And let me just say this, man: if you're at a protest, it's a fucking protest. You're walking. It deals with walking. Yes, you came in your comfortable shoes, but stop fucking complaining. Like we knew you knew what the weather was gonna be like.
That was because it was kind of like when you sigh, it was kind of like it's hot. Like I would do that, but I mean I do that at the beach, and I will I voluntarily will go to the beach kind of thing. But in that moment, like just the complaining. Like, if you don't shut the fuck up, and then the whole fight with the fit girl.
That's the one I was talking about. The girl that was in front of me. Because she was in front of me. She was complaining about marching and just complaining about going uphill and just not trying to hear anything from anybody. Then there was this girl who was next to us holding a sign. She's full of energy. She's obviously a fitness girl, probably a personal trainer. She's telling people, all right, guys, right now, what you want to do as we're going uphill is use your heels.
Catch that.
She gave some type of advice to make it easier to walk uphill, which I thought was great.
Because if you walk on the balls of your feet, you're going to feel it in your calves.
Right.
more.
So she was like, use your heels mainly. All right. And then the woman that was complaining was like, hey, fit girl, fitness girl, we're not trying to hear that right now. And in my head, I'm like, shut the fuck up. You need to try to hear this right now. She's trying to help your ass.
Like
Like and this is a day of love and solidarity. Why are we even getting at somebody else for trying to help help us. Like, what the fuck? This person is definitely not the enemy right here. She's holding up it's a white lady, by the way, holding up a Black Lives Matter sign, leading the chants for the protest, and she's giving us advice on how to walk uphill. Who the fuck are we to be mad at that that point? So with that woman, she just must have been bothered by the heat, just annoyed. She was just ready to go. Like, if she could have had an out and there was a car, if her car was parked on the side, she would have definitely gotten in that car and drove away.
Yeah, like I heard other complaints. At one point, what was it? It was like 2 girls and a guy, and the girl that like was in the middle goes to the girl on the side. She's like louder, like, and then like they're chanting. I didn't hear shit from the other girl, but I'm not there to judge anybody. Like, there were moments I wasn't chanting. Yeah, you know. So she goes, no, louder. She was like, oh, like, this is the loudest I can get. And then she was like, oh, from your diaphragm, like from your core, some shit like that, like trying to make a joke out of it. So it's not like, you know, I'm yelling at you. And the girl goes, I don't have a core. And this is like this little skinny bitch. And I'm thinking like, oh, she's probably like dying right now.
I don't have a core.
Yeah, but I heard it, and I'm not like right at their ass, like I'm a little bit behind them, and I heard everything, and it was the funniest shit. And the girl like smacks her on the stomach, like, bitch, you got a core, louder.
You coreless bitch.
That shit was that shit was so funny. Oh man, but like some of the complaining that I heard, I wasn't there, I wasn't around for the fitness one, but it was like some random complaining next to us. I think Joy had said something. My cousin, my cousin was just talking to me, and then he went. He's like, all right, I gotta go check, because he was just making sure everything was good. Yeah. So he cuts in front of me. He's walking a little bit up. I didn't hear the actual complaint, but I could tell because Joy, she's like, I'm so fucking tired of people complaining. And then my cousin turned like, oh, well, you know, try doing this in like a full suit. And then yes. And then I was like, shit, try doing this in chains. Yeah. Like, and then Joy had mentioned something like, oh, and like, and she was like, fuck a full suit. The women that were doing this were wearing heels.
And not to mention a whole day.
A whole day.
Not just a little hour-long march.
Yeah.
Like the whole day. And not in the best types of
because we did like maybe 4 hours.
Yeah, like
we did a 4-hour march, 4.5 maybe.
Terrain.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And it wasn't even the full march because we had stopped at the courthouse.
Right.
So.
Right, yeah. It's not like we were marching straight 4 hours. I don't think anybody would have more complainers at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's like, look, you bring what you needed for these things. And on top of that, they're giving out water. Mm-hmm. So, you know, there's really no reason for you to complain.
Did you see how many empty water bottles I had in my book bag? I was running through them
Oh,
shits.
no, you did. I was surprised. You was like, I ran through my second one already. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Because I brought 3, and I was like, damn, I should bring more. But I had so much in my bag that I'm like, damn. I was like,
my bag was just water bottles.
Yeah.
And then after a while, they were getting like room temperature, and then whenever I'd hold one, it would get super warm. I'm like,
yeah, no, I would take anything at that point. I was like, I don't, because I made sure I kept, because I drink room temp anyway, and then sometimes cold, but I was just like, nah, fuck it. Like, if they get warm, they get warm.
Yeah, it was lukewarm at one point. I'm like, ugh.
Because I didn't think it was gonna be that long, which it's fine. Like, I had no problem doing it. I'll do that shit again. But I'm like, damn, I should have brought more. When I saw that they were giving out water bottles, I was like, thank the fucking Lord.
Yeah. So again, shout out to everybody, including Covey, that just came through and.
Yeah. Because I went through my 3 quick. Yeah. Just from fucking standing there. Like, I went through like 1.5, I think, just from the gathering.
And I'm sure you just being there with the camera didn't help either. That probably made you a lot more hotter.
Yeah. I was running around a lot. Yeah. That definitely didn't fucking help.
But it's all right, you know.
But I got 250. Yeah, it was funny. B just hit me up. She's like, oh, do you have any extra shots from the protest? I'm like, yeah, out of 250, I think I got some extra.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got you. Where I figured you got a couple good ones.
Yeah, there was a lot of good ones. And there was, when I put some on, when I was putting them on Instagram, I realized it was one I wanted to put up. The guy, the little kid that was talking, and then his mom went up, and then she started talking, and then she got nervous. I noticed he was wearing the marathon. He was wearing. Yes, he was. He's wearing. So I have a picture of like the side of his face and like the marathon tag on the back.
Yeah, I noticed it. Yeah, when he first spoke, he had the Crenshaw logo. Mm-hmm. That was dope.
I didn't notice it until like they were standing in front of us, and then when I started talking to his mom.
Oh yeah, no, she was great too. She was nervous at first, and then she got through it. Yeah, so that was cool. And then I was going through some of the pics that you posted online, and then I was fucking laughing at one because I was like, "Who's this fat fuck?" with that. I'm like, who she got here that has no fucking sign, looks like a fucking idiot. And I look closer, I'm like, oh, that's me. She took a fucking picture of me while I wasn't looking, trying to make me. I'm like,
I know. I actually do have a couple. Good
but she
ones
didn't.
Of you.
She didn't tag me, thankfully.
No, I didn't tag you.
No, and you got more of me. Oh, I don't
I have a couple others where it's like you're just gazing in the distance, kind of. I almost felt like you were posing for them.
I definitely no. Don't put that on me, Sade. Don't put that on me.
That's why I didn't put them up.
I'm not that type of guy. How dare you?
They seem a little posy, but I didn't put them up. There's a couple. There's a couple of Villa. One where he looks crazy, so I wasn't gonna put it. And there's another one where, like, he does look like he's posing too, like he's like in the moment.
There's one you put me and him standing next to each other, but like my face is cut off.
Oh yeah,
that one. I was like, that looked like almost like an album cover in a way. It almost did. I ain't gonna lie, that looked hard, that pic, even though I wasn't completely in it. But
yeah, I might have to. Yeah, because I mean, I kind of mentioned it to B, but I love taking pictures. I'm trying to think if I talked to David about it. Nah. Shout out to David for the beats. That was his beat in the opening.
Yeah, we're all over the place.
Yeah, sorry, but I want to get back into it. I just don't know if I want to add it to like
everything else.
Yeah, because I love doing it, but then once it becomes like a job, I'm like, man, I don't know.
You do take great pics. I mean, I've used a bunch of your pics before for my performance pics.
Yeah.
That therapy in the park that day. A lot of dope ones in there.
Yeah, they were. And I would have I have another lens that's like I can zoom in like closer.
Yeah.
And I realized that I met one of the guys, I don't know if you were around. I ran into him and I know him from Whole Foods. Okay. So he had the lens that I have, but it's fucking somewhere in here. So I'm like, damn, I should have fucking brought that lens.
Oh, so you didn't even know where it is?
No, I'll tell you right now. It's bookcase. It's like in that first one behind the catnip.
Oh, okay. Yeah, seems like you put some shit in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's got that one part of the cabinet where it's just a bunch of random shit.
It's like I think it's right before the mason jar.
I'm seeing catnip. I'm seeing some blue masking tape for painting walls. I'm seeing some off spray. Yeah, everybody's got one of those.
I almost thought about wearing off that day, but I was like, nah.
I don't think that was the least of our troubles.
No, I was like, damn, I don't know, but there wasn't that many. We were fine because we were like city, so
it was straight.
It was fine.
But no, great time. You got any final thoughts on the protest?
No, amazing. It was an amazing feeling.
And we're back. So before we wrap up our week, our little therapy session, Sade was telling me off air about this funny little encounter that she had over the weekend, and I'd like for her to expand on it because I would like to give my full-on opinion because I didn't give it while we were off air, but I do see. I see both sides of the argument. There are two
sides, yeah.
I see both sides of the argument, and me being the male in this equation right now, I will give.
That's why I want to, yeah.
Yes, I will give both sides. So go ahead.
So Saturday, after we did the protest, we went to the greenhouse. And then after that, Juan was at his cousin's, like a few minutes away. So I met up with them, had to play bartender, but I also got like free food and liquor off of it. So it was fine. So we're all just chilling, listening to music. And his cousin's talking about like her baby daddy issues, saying like, oh, the next one, like, fuck this, like, fuck niggas, like, I'm just gonna, what did she say? She's like, I'm just gonna go to a sperm bank. And Juan just randomly comes out with, well, he's like, oh, I've been asked to donate, or somebody wants my sperm, or some shit like that. And we all, and it wasn't a lot of us, like 5. So we all turned to let him, and we're like, what? His cousins are mad nosy. So they're just like, tell us. Like one cousin is like, don't worry, Sade, I got you. Tell us, what the fuck? And she's fucking with him. And then she's like, what? She made a joke out of it. Cause I was joking and I laughed and I'm like, wait, oh, you're being real. Oh, okay. Like you're being serious about this shit. And then I gave up. I was like, nah, it's cool. It's cool. I'll find out later. And as I open notes on my phone, I pass him the phone, like, you're gonna fucking tell me who this is right now. You're gonna fucking tell me. I'm not gonna fucking wait until after. So as he's typing on the phone, it's funny because his cousin just keeps going on. It That shit was so. She was like, She was like, you better we're gonna sign a contract. Yeah, at least like 50,000 or some shit like per kid or some shit like that. Because I also mentioned, I was like, because by this time he did tell me who it was, who asked for it, and it's a friend of ours, or well, his friend. And it's funny because then I mentioned, I was like, does a bitch know that twins run in your family? No, 100K. Like, I'm running with the joke. Like 100K, 50 per kid or some shit like that. So, so when we got home, we talked about it. Yeah. All right. So it's a friend that I've already, we spoke about this. It's a friend that I told you about. And he said it was like 3 years ago. I don't think it was 3 years ago, but, her and her girlfriend, I guess, I don't know if she had talked to her girlfriend about this, because her girlfriend like backed out of it. Was like, no, like I'm not ready to have a kid. But she approached Juan about it and then had told Juan, don't say anything. And this is somebody that I met Juan through her, like known her since high school, since 2010, like actually before that in middle school, but I've known her as long as I've known Juan. So this is not like somebody who's new to us. It's not like,
not somebody random.
Yeah, it's not a random person at all. So she's like, but don't tell anything to Sade. Let me talk to her. And I was just like, okay, but because when I was like, all right, but why wasn't I brought up in this conversation? Because we were broken up for a little bit. So I'm like, was this during like the breakup? He's like, oh no, but she told me, she wants to be the one to talk to you. I'm like, but why wasn't I in this conversation? Because not for nothing, that's not your sperm. That's mine. That shit belongs to me.
Right.
So, and the way that I see it is, it's not that I was like upset that she asked, because I understand this is like, they've known each other. They're in their late 20s. They've known each other since they were 12 and 13. So I completely understand it. They're friends. I completely get that. The only thing that I feel weird about is the fact that don't tell Sade, because I want to be the one to tell her. Right. No, I been in part of that conversation?
Yeah, I feel like that's something that she should have at least brought up to both of you.
Yeah, shouldn't it be like, oh, like, is Sade with you? I gotta talk to you guys.
Right.
Because my answer is no. Because it's just, to me, it's weird, because me and him are I just want one, but I'm probably gonna have to pop out too. So, but for my kids to have a sibling that we know that technically they are siblings, but what are we gonna say? No, that's your cousin. Yeah. That's like, it's
literally a half brother.
Yeah.
Or half sister.
Yeah. And it's somebody who only has half brothers and half sisters. And I found out about two. Like, I kind of knew about them when I was young, like when my father died, but I didn't really know them until damn near 10 years later.
Now, is that a factor in your decision, knowing that you've grown up with half brothers and half sisters? Did that kind of factor? No,
like it didn't factor until just now. Because when you said it, I was like, oh shit, like it just factored now.
Would it have, knowing that now, if you were thinking about it back then?
Kind of, yeah.
It would have.
I guess. I think it's more so like, I don't know if I didn't really know two sisters for most of my life. I didn't meet them until I was 15 or 16 or some shit. Well, like 15, I think. So, I actually met them at that time. And I found out about them 7 when I was eavesdropping on a conversation. But I don't want my kids to have to find out that they have a half brother, half sister by listening in on a conversation.
All right, let me ask you another question. Now, would this have been easier for you to do if you and Juan already had kids and they were old enough to understand what was going on? Would it bother you then? Or does it bother you more because, okay, he's going to have somewhat of a kid with this other person before we even have our own?
Oh, yeah, no, that was definitely not, yeah, that alone, it's like, no, like, that's not happening at all.
So it would make it easier if you already had kids to begin with?
I think I would look at it in like a different light.
Okay, that's fair.
Because my main thing is, it's not even my main thing. That like initial is, okay, wait, hold on. You're asking.
You're not even telling me.
Yeah, you're not telling me that. Okay, that's the initial, and then 2, it's like we don't even have kids yet.
Yeah.
Like you need to wait.
Yeah.
You need to wait. Because if I'm having his shits. Like, that, those little fuckers are happening.
Right.
But it's weird because I'm not even, I hit up my friend who's also friends with the girl, and he was the one that brought up the whole, like, guy and girl aspect. Like, well, as a guy, it's, it's just sperm. But, okay, but no. To me, it's like, but he's not in a relationship.
Exactly.
And he's seeing it as that, and I'm like, okay, that's cool, but you also know that it's not like we're never going to see her again. She's literally like family.
Right.
She lives in Florida, but she is like, more than likely, if they were to have a kid, she's going to move back to Jersey because her mom is up here.
Oh, yeah. And then forever, like, she'll be connected to Juan, no matter what.
Yeah.
No matter what. Which means you'll be connected to her.
And a contract, like, his cousin was mentioning the contract shit. And regardless of the whole contract situation, that's we're still going to be around.
Yeah.
Like, because I understand the appeal of, instead of, getting sperm at a bank, you're going to a friend.
Right, someone you've known for years and you can trust, and you like the way that they are as a person, so you could imagine that your son will be, if you have a son or whatever, that'll be just like them.
Yeah,
I get that.
Because that I get 100%, and that's why, like, I wasn't upset about it. Like, I wasn't too, like, crazy about it. Like, I completely understand, but my reason for saying no is I don't feel comfortable about it.
Yeah.
So we're just going to lie to the kids then?
And you're completely fine in saying that. I agree with anybody that would be uncomfortable with that.
Yeah, like, are you going to tell these kids? You know how, like when you do the voice notes and, like, you're with Leo and Leo's like, he's like, oh, the Sade.
Yeah.
So is Juan just going to be their uncle? Even though he's their father,
I would assume he would
because
be
that
known
literally, like, when he passed me my phone back and I seen her name, I'm like, ugh, that's what I had pictured. I'm like, so he's gonna be their father, but because I understand the contract thing, but this is not just somebody that you just know. Like, we're gonna be in each other's lives.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So I just
Without
find
a
that
doubt.
weird.
As for, like, the guy's perspective, yeah, I could see a single guy being like, yeah, it's just sperm, whatever.
Mhm.
Tons of single guys and guys with kids, they go into sperm banks and they get the little money
Yeah.
on the side just for, producing a sample.
Yeah.
I get that. Once you have kids, like me, I think it's a little more tricky to answer.
Yeah.
I don't feel 100% comfortable with just giving random women or a sperm bank my sperm,
Mhm.
even if I'm getting paid for it. I'm obviously, if I'm going there and I'm getting paid for it, I'm okay with it. But at the same time, it's just like, now that I have kids of my own, I feel kind of weird just giving
like,
someone
you
else
have
kid, and then more of my kids being out there and I'm not fully aware of it. Because if I go to a sperm bank, 9 times out of 10, you're probably not going to be told who's getting them. I don't know the
No.
rules behind it, but I think it's kept confidential.
It's like kind of anonymous, but they'll have, like, portfolios, like binders, where it'll give, like, a history, because they just don't want to just take sperm without knowing. They want to know, like, details of, like, people's lives and shit.
Yeah, I guess so, in a sense, but I don't know if the donors are then contacted, like, hey, your sperm was used. I don't know if that's the case. I don't know shit about sperm banks. I just know that you go in,
I don't think so.
you do the shit,
you're not
you get
gonna
paid.
know. No, because I think more than, like, I know you have to. You're pretty much signing them over for payment.
Right. So there you go.
don't. Yeah.
So you're not. You basically, there's no way for you to find out.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense too.
Because the idea of it is amazing, and I think, I mean, it's nasty, but jerking off in a cup, that's nasty. But the idea of it is beautiful, because you're helping a couple who either can't have kids biologically, like if it's 2 guys or 2 girls, or if something happened and it's a couple.
Yeah,
like,
and then,
if they're if
they're
it's
just not able to.
if it's a woman and a guy and they just can't.
Yeah.
So regardless, like, I understand it does help, and it's beautiful, but at the same time it's like I think because it hit close to home, I'm like,
Yeah, it's a dilemma. Like, if it was me, if I'm in that position, and a friend of mine that I've known for years just asked me, like, hey, bro, you know what? Me and my significant other, we can't have a baby, and, like, I've known you for so long. Would you mind? I would have reservations at first. Not even just my significant other telling me no.
mhm.
I would have reservations just because I've already had kids. And I don't know. It's just part of me it would take a lot of thought. Not even the money aspect.
Yeah.
It would just take a lot of, like, me going back, all right, I got to think about this. I would need some time to think
Yeah.
about what I want to do, because it's so serious.
Yeah.
So like bringing another life, even if it's not 100% yours, you're still involved in it somehow. To me, that would rub me the wrong way at first, and I would need time to sit back and think about it, regardless of how strong my relationship is with the person that's asking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
and
I think that's what kind of, because it was kind of a shock, like in it, like, okay, like you're not, like I'm not in this. You're gonna tell me afterward that you're using.
oh, you should have been
his-
notified from the girl. Like, I'm not even looking at this like it's Swan's fault at all, because I feel like
No.
once she told him without you, he was already put in a position that he didn't
Yeah.
want to be in.
And I don't think that's fair to him. And I didn't, like, I told him, like, I'm not like mad. I'm not like, you know, or like fuck you guys. Like, I'm not that mad about it. But it's just, where was I in this conversation?
Right.
Like, I know we're not married, but we pretty much have our lives planned out.
Yeah.
So
Where something like this should,
like what?
no, something this serious, because it's a
Yeah.
serious issue. Like, it's
Yeah.
money or not, like it's still serious. Like, okay, you're bringing another baby, and on your end, I see the deal with it being, okay, you want to have a baby, of somewhat quote unquote baby with someone else before your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I could see where that would rub any girlfriend the wrong way.
Yeah.
Like, and if I'm the guy in a relationship with the girl and she's asking one of my friends to have a baby for us,
Mm-hmm.
I definitely feel weird,
Yeah.
especially if I know the guy. Like, if it's someone I know, like, yo, you.
Oh
could,
no, this is a gay couple, but yeah.
all right, fine, fair enough. But if it was just a guy and a girl,
Mm-hmm.
I would still feel a certain way about it. Like, it's
Yeah.
very, very
Because
awkward.
I don't know if she told her girlfriend about it. I just know he's like, oh no, like I can't use.
Does the
names.
girlfriend know Juan?
Yeah.
She does.
Yeah, but she hasn't been in our lives that long. They're not together at this point now. But when it did happen, and I always kind of seen their relationship as kind of like finicky, because One wants to be open and the other one kind of didn't. So I already knew.
Sketchy.
I knew from the get. So then, I think that's probably why my backwards way of thinking, I feel like that's why she didn't come to me. And also, I can be very me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I guess she was
So
like,
maybe that's the
she
reason.
knew, she had to know it was going to be a no. You can't get one on your side, get your girlfriend on your side, and then come to me and be like, oh, well, that's not fair because we're all down for it. I don't give a flying fuck. That shit
Yeah.
belongs to me. And I say
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
even
I agree.
I think I would still feel this way even after I have kids.
Okay.
Because it's just, I don't know how to go about explaining the whole thing. Because I told, like, me and Juan, like, we'll talk, like, we'll joke around, like, oh no, like, I'm the first one that's having kids. If you're gonna have other kids, like, because I really just want one. I wanted two, and then I seen what happens, and I just want one. What?
No, I was going to let you finish your thought. Then I was
Oh.
going to throw a hypothetical at you.
And then, okay. And then I was like, if you want, like, joking around, if you want another kid, you go find somebody after me. That's completely fine. As long as I have your first one, that's fine. But, like, we'll joke around that, like, with that. But, like, and I'm sure when she finds her next girlfriend, who's going to be, like, the wife, and they're talking about kids, I'm sure she's going to revisit Juan about this. And that's what I was trying to talk to my guy friend about, and he was just like, oh, kind of, I felt like he was handling me like a typical girl.
Mhm.
And I had to, like, who do you know, like, did you forget who I am, kind of thing. That's why I'm like, who are you talking to right now? Like, you need to, because he's like, oh, don't get upset at me. I'm like, oh, my bad, I didn't put fucking LOLs in the, like, I'm not mad at you, I'm just telling. I was like, fuck it, I was trying to have a conversation like how we're having now.
Yep.
But through text, so everything
is
gets
tough.
fucking misconstrued.
It's always tough.
And the way it just seems. Wait, hold on. Let me.
Those are the types of conversations that you shouldn't have on text.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was late at night, and I was like, I just got to talk about it with somebody, and it was just one of those things where, like, the way he kind of approached it, where I just stopped answering him. He was like, Sade, you don't have to get mad about it. I'm just saying my perspective. I didn't say I was mad, because he's like, in my opinion, because I was like, am I wrong to be upset about it? Because I didn't tell him, I just told him, like, what had happened, and he knows everybody involved. And I was like, am I wrong to be upset about that, about the whole thing? And he's like, well, in my opinion, yes, but I'm a guy and blah, blah, blah. I can understand you feeling a type of way because that's your partner. You would have to ask a girl because, but I understand. Wait, hold on. But I can understand since you're probably just at, he had said, he was like, I kind of understand. He wrote it weird. He's like, I kind of understand the fact that like she didn't ask you, but you shouldn't be upset about it.
Yeah, I mean, guy's perspective.
Yeah.
That's what it was. I completely understand where you're coming from, just like he did.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you that it should have been brought up to both of you because you guys are a couple.
Because that was my main thing, like, because I already know my answer, and it's no.
All right, now let me throw this hypothetical at you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's just say they're offering a good amount of money, and this good amount of money can change you and Juan's life to the point where you guys can now like get stuff taken care of, possibly get a house, definitely set up to have your own baby now at this house. Does that change your decision at all?
If this was a different couple, because they have no money, but
if, I'm saying that's not hypothetical. Let's say they do have the money. Let's say they're throwing you $50,000 for a kid.
no, that's
It's not enough.
no.
All right, so if it's a significant amount of money, let's just say a money that you know can get you a new house, can get you space you need to take care of your debts, help you get set up for a family.
Can it be somebody I don't know?
No, well,
Can it be like if it's somebody I don't know, then
it's
like,
easier for someone you don't know.
yeah.
Okay.
If it's
Then
like
that's what it is.
if it's something that can help us get closer to our goals and everything like that, but at the same time, I still feel because he's been approached to marry.
For papers?
Yeah, for papers and shit. And
That's a tough one too.
I
know people like that too. That's a slippery slope.
I was like, I don't know, because from what I do know, the whole thing, like, you have to kind of like, he would have to pretty kind of like, quote, like, move in with her, so it appears that way. And I'm like, oh, fuck out of here.
That's the worst too. Like, they got to actually hang together. They got to be seen kissed, and
yeah,
they got to do couple
it's
shit.
too much, and then the risk, and then I mean, it was a good amount of money, but I'm like, no. And at the same time, I'm like, no, I want to be your fucking first wife and your first divorcee. Like, fuck out of here.
You have all the right in the world to say that. Like, I completely agree with you. Yeah, I could see where someone in your position would feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, it's tough, and especially it's tougher when you know the person.
Yeah, I like, to me, I don't know if my answer could ever change, because it's so many different things. Like, what if, and I'm saying I'm definitely having a boy. I fucking pray to God I have a boy. But what if, like, I have a boy, she has a girl, and what if they just think that, well, like, they find out, oh, we're not actually related. Well, they think they're not actually related, and like, they start catching feelings. Now we got to explain that they're half brother and half sister. That's some TV shit.
That is some TV shit. And you're
shit.
really stretching it out.
No, but I've thought about it.
Storyline. Yeah, I know. You definitely thought about it.
I've
just
been
by saying
binging
that.
way too much shit.
Yeah,
I've been watching way too many things on.
That's a drama right there.
Through fucking this entire quarantine. But I thought about that, and I'm like, because just having to explain to them at some point, like, oh, you guys are actually related, kind of thing, and I don't know. I don't fucking know. They're probably gonna look alike, but who knows? She's also Dominican, and their genes are fucking strong. Damn. Nah, my answer's still no. But I'm definitely not gonna approach her about it. Because at the end of the day, that's his friend. Me and her have gotten close here and there, but I respect the fact that, yeah, at one point me and her were friends, but at the end of the day, I know where her loyalty lies, so I'm not getting in the middle of that. And whenever she wants to come up to me about it, it's gonna, okay, thank you for actually saying something to me now. You didn't say anything years before, but it's flat out no.
Right.
Yeah. She could have asked fucking our other friend. Man, you ain't got no relationship.
But she probably doesn't
He has
appreciate.
good genes too. Sorry. You met him too.
Good genes too. That's an early candidate for the title. Good genes.
Good genes.
Good genes.
He does have good genes. You've met him. I'll bleep out his name.
Where?
Check it.
Okay.
I can't say anything else.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I'm trying to remember who that would have been. Yeah, got you. Okay.
Yeah. He has good genes.
Probably, I mean.
And twins don't run in his family. Not that I know of.
So you're really just worried about twins coming out?
No,
that would be double the pain, double the smack in the face.
No, but I figured I don't want twins, but I figured that might be like a deciding factor for her. Be like, come on, like, do you really want to pop out 2 kids?
Imagine he did it. Twins do pop out, and then you guys have a kid, and it's just one. He just saved you from having twins.
No, I wouldn't risk it. I still want to have the first one.
Still don't want to risk those genes, huh?
No. Oh God, I don't want twins. All right, let's move on.
You keep saying you're gonna have a boy. You keep saying you don't want twins. You're gonna end up with girl twins.
Oh my God!
I'm sorry to put that out there, but because you're putting out the opposite, and life is funny that way.
Oh my God! Yeah, I want a girl. I want twins.
It's too late for that shit. You gotta. All the times you said you didn't, you better atone for that shit.
Oh my God! I'm gonna end up giving birth to like somebody like my sister. Jesus Christ! My fucking luck.
There you go.
All right. So we're gonna take a break and then come back with our guest.
Coming out next year.
Wait, what'd you say?
PS5's coming out this holiday, and the first game announced, Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Oh, that's gonna be good.
Yeah. So that's gonna be
really good.
Yeah, that's gonna be dope.
By the way, we're recording.
Okay, sorry. Shit. Hate spelled backwards is Ita. For example, if you hate me, you can eat a dick.
It's funny.
And we're back.
I don't know why that's so funny, but it's funny.
And we're back.
Yeah, we are back. We were gonna have a guest, but we came up with a better solution, so the guest will be on for next week.
Yeah.
That's a way better plan. I can't wait.
It's a way better plan. So luckily, the person that we had on as a guest, he offered. Well, he didn't really offer. We kind of inched in and made ourselves kind of push ourselves in there.
Yeah, because it was super awkward having to do like a Zoom while me and him are here, and we're not doing that double room shit like where I'm in the fucking kitchen, you're here, because then we have echoes.
Like we're a couple and we're angry at each other.
Pretty much.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden we made up and we're side by side. I could barely see his face because the laptop was so far.
And on top of that, no fan, no AC, so we're just next to each other, just about to sweat.
Oh my God!
I can feel my back starting to glisten.
Ew. I just felt, because I have the hat on, so I felt like it coming. I was like, oh.
See it? There you go. See,
gross.
That's how it was. And I think just the fact that you had like the mixer on you, or this on you, and then the heat was just generating.
Yeah. Because I thought, I was like, okay, maybe the pillow was cool. Maybe if I have it on top of the pillow. No, that made it worse.
Nah, that made it a lot worse.
That made it worse, yeah.
You need one of those cool pillows made out of buckwheat.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's what they're made out of, yeah.
I don't fucking know.
I remember seeing infomercials about like pillows that stay cool no matter what, and they're made out of buckwheat. I always thought that was funny.
I gotta look this up now. All right, so this episode is just going to be me and you.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
This episode is brought to you by absolutely nobody this week. Is it?
Well, I didn't do
the ads last week.
I didn't do the ad last week because we were on a roll, so I didn't feel like there was a good place to cut.
Plus, it would have felt weird putting out ads during an episode as important as that it was.
Yeah.
It just kind of would have felt weird. Like,
and I kind of don't even want to. I don't like the Anchor ad. It's nothing against it. It's just I'd rather advertise for actual. Like, I have a couple things in the works for us, but I'd rather advertise for people that we kind of know.
Yeah.
Or at least like it black owned, or at least like
I agree.
Or just people that like peers. Like, I'd rather do something like that.
Yeah, I'd like to just maybe we can do that. We're just gonna shout out some black owned businesses for the rest of the month, maybe even next month, or maybe just make that a regular thing. Mm-hmm. You know, maybe black owned, Latino owned, just minority owned businesses.
Yeah.
You know, and obviously we're not looking to get paid for it. We just want to spread awareness and show people that there is actual places you can go and get stuff that is just as good as the other places you go to that are not black owned.
You kind of just fucked up my plan.
Did I fuck up the plan?
A little bit.
Well, luckily we can edit.
But it's fine. Oh, we can edit.
Yeah, we can edit that. So
cool.
Maybe not be such much of an asshole next time.
There you go.
Okay. Thanks.
We need micro pennies. We need to stack them up somehow.
We need these micro pennies.
We stop. All right, go ahead. We're going to do some quick fire
All right,
shit.
so we're going to do some quick fire shit. We haven't done this in a minute.
Yeah.
Where we're just going to go through a myriad of topics, like that word, myriad of topics that have happened in the past week, and we're going to give our quick fire responses, opinions, and where we think they might go.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, we're doing mine first? Okay, so I'll go first. Let me pull up
We
that
have
note.
the same one.
We have the note. Let me pull it up. I thought you were going to pull up and read it to me. All right. Oh, jeez, let me find it. Oh.
Do you want me to say something?
No, hold on. Got it. Okay.
Go ahead.
So first one. Run the Jewels made history this past week. Within 2 days of its release, it got 38,000 streams and made it to number 10 on the album chart.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's fucking great. The album is already fucking phenomenal. Great production. One of my biggest pet peeves of it is that for some reason, I don't know if it's just me, but I have a little bit of trouble hearing what they're saying. Not that I don't understand it. Like, I understand the content of it, but it's just, I think the beats play so fucking loud and the mixing is like,
yeah, that's
a bit of an issue where you can't make out what they're saying.
Yeah, because I was going to tell you that, because last week when we went through new releases, this week we're not going to, oh damn, next week we would have went through new releases. We still can, whatever. But last week when we did, Run the Jewels came out like the day of, or the day, right, like the day before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of our recording.
Yeah, they put out early.
Yeah, so I listened to it. I listened to some of it. Didn't really get to like actually get into it. And then the day of the protest, I think I actually listened to it. And the beats are so like Jesus.
Man, if you needed a soundtrack to get ready for a protest,
That
this is that album.
That was definitely
Run the Jewels 4 will get you ready to go down these streets and march and protest.
Hell yeah.
For sure. Especially the first beat. Once that shit comes on, man.
Oh my god.
LP is a fucking monster.
It was dope though. It was really good.
LP's a monster on them beats. And yeah.
But I think that was the purpose of it. That's why I didn't really make a comment to you about it, about how the mixing did it. Not that it seemed off, but I think that was just done on purpose.
Yeah, but at the same, and I heard it in the car, so it's different. Like, I'm gonna hear it with the headphones later this week and just see if that's that same thing.
It's way better in the car.
Yeah, and then when I listen to it with headphones, I usually just put on the lyrics too, so I can just get the full immersive experience.
I know, I should do that.
I do that a lot. Sometimes it's needed.
Yeah.
But with these guys, I guess it's gonna be needed a little more just off of that first listen.
Yeah, usually like I used to do that for more like the lyrical shit.
Yeah, where it's needed.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, so that was good. I think the fact that it got to number 10 on the album chart definitely was well deserved, even just with 2 days of release.
Mm-hmm.
So that's fucking awesome. And it's definitely an album for the times. I think it's gonna be remembered in 2020 as like one of the most important albums of the year.
Yeah.
Like, it was almost like To Pimp a Butterfly when it first came out. Like, it was just speaking about the sign of the times and talking about the current climate going on. So Killer Mike and LP are always good for that, and they always got great fucking timing whenever they drop a project like this, because it just so happens to be shit like that going on in the world.
Do I? Oh, I have it. This is why we can't share.
That's why we can't share. Okay.
All right,
Next up.
Do you want to stay with that, and then we can talk about all the shit that's happening since the protest?
Stay with that in what way?
Because you just mentioned protests.
Like, talk more about the protest stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Wait. Oh, Jesus. So what? It's been 2-3 weeks of protesting.
Yeah,
You
roughly.
would say? Yeah, roughly. So Minneapolis has now banned chokeholds, and that was probably like within the last week. Dallas bans aggressive force.
No, hold up. When you say ban chokeholds from the police.
Well, the police. Yeah, I'm sorry. I just did like
Yeah.
quick notes on it. 5 New York City streets will be renamed for like Black Lives Matter, and then they're also going to be you know how like DC painted the street?
Yeah.
I don't know. I seen another city painted, but I don't know if that was New York.
I don't know what it was, but I will say that they shitted on DC's painting.
Oh my god, that shit was amazing.
So much better.
I shared it, but I didn't save it. I didn't bookmark it. So I have no fucking clue.
I saw it though. It just, the B was like, there was like a picture inside of the letter.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right.
They did that for almost each letter.
Like, y'all brought artists out.
That shit was fire.
That was great. That was fire. That needed to be done.
No.
What are you doing right now?
I don't know how I'm gonna get it.
What are we even doing?
What are we even doing? I don't know how I'm
reach
gonna
that?
get that.
I'll reach it.
Okay, can you reach
It's
it?
fucking ridiculous in the middle of the goddamn.
I'll keep going while you go get it. Oh, don't burn yourself. Oh yeah, so this candle is brought to you by. I kept forgetting. You also got a gift from him too.
I'm gonna hold this one. This made me go for it.
Okay, we're back.
Yo, we meant to shout out this guy on an earlier episode.
Technically, we did. So we did shout him out, but I forgot to hit record. So then we never did it in the retake, and then I kept forgetting. Last week I had it set up too, just like this, and I forgot. Boop. And then this week, okay, well now we're talking about it. So do we have to go back and we have to go back and say everything about how this happened?
You want to do a quick one?
Quick one. Go.
All right, so this segment should not take as many takes as it does, but it is. Shout out to Spencer Sterling. He was a guest of ours a couple weeks back when we were doing the Zoom chop ups, and after we had the interview, he reached out to us very nonchalantly, asked us for our address. I figured it was just to hang out or whatever, and turned out he sent us both gifts. He sent me a brand new, fresh Pittsburgh Pirates hat. If y'all know me, y'all know how much I love that logo and the look of that P. Pause.
Yeah.
That was weird. It's a nice looking logo.
Weird.
The P.
Yeah.
That like the P. Pause.
The
Shit.
P?
Shit.
The PP? I'll continue. So anyway, I'll take over. Let me stop. Go ahead.
Sent me a hat. He sent Sade this lovely smelling Yankee candle. What's the scent?
Mango peach salsa.
Mango peach salsa,
That's
which
my shit.
I couldn't tell what that was when I smelled it, but it smells phenomenal. And mango peach salsa definitely is the mood right now. It's this nice hot day, and I could go for some mango and peach and some salsa.
I actually have all of those. No, I don't have any tomatoes. Damn it. I'm about to say I can make that.
You can make that right now, but you're not gonna because you don't have it.
No, because pizza's on
So
the way.
you had me up here, and now.
I'll make it next
ridiculous.
time.
Next time.
I'll bring it with us on Saturday. Is that okay? And some blue corn chips.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Blue corn. Oh shit. Son. Don't get me starting the blue corn.
I had it last week, and then I thought I didn't know Juan was gonna fucking go through the entire bag. I was like, damn.
Got some good chips. It's
Those
the
are
right
good.
amount of salt placement. I'll say that much. You know, you can go to the nice Mexican restaurant and they give you that shit for free. Which, also, I want to get into.
What?
When you go to a Mexican restaurant, it's kind of pointless getting appetizers. You're gonna fill up on chips and dip.
Oh yeah, I tried not to, but they're just right there, and then I feel like they take forever. It's weird because it would. Why would you leave the chips there, take forever, thinking they'll fill up, but it's less that you're paying, it's less that you're buying.
Something to think about.
My restaurant, I'm not gonna have no fucking chips. You pay for. No, me stop. Maybe some. I don't know. I'll think about
You
it.
are the only open mic that provides chips for people when they walk in. by the
Yeah,
way.
no, but when I actually open my own spot, meh.
No chips. It's gonna be an item.
You get those fucking
At
appetizers.
least $2. $1 for chips, $2 for salsa.
No, that's way too much. I wouldn't charge for chips and salsa. No, I probably would.
You
Yeah.
have to.
I would have to, yeah. I probably would.
There's a budget for that.
No, there is.
That motherfucker's losing money.
Oh, there is.
I wonder how much money these Mexican restaurants are losing by putting these chips on the salsa.
The chips they're probably making themselves, like, from scratch.
But that's gotta cost money.
Well, not from scratch. If you just get like the tortillas, cut them up.
Right, cut
fry
them up and then fry them and everything. But that's still money. There's still a
True.
budget of that. This
True.
shit's not free.
Miller's, we give the chips out for free.
Oh, Miller's got money like that? You got chip money?
Yeah.
All right,
I
Miller's.
can't wait to leave that place.
All right,
but
Miller's.
yeah, go ahead.
All right, so just shout out to
shout
Spencer.
out to I
Shout
love
out
the
to
candle.
the candle's dope. I love the fucking hat. I've worn it a bunch of times. I think I wore it to the protest. So that was great.
I meant to ask you that too because it looks a lot fresher than your usual.
Fucking asshole. Jesus Christ.
That's what I'm
That
here
was not
for.
needed. That
That's
wasn't
what
needed.
I'm
How do you
here
even tell if it's
for.
fresher looking?
It looks a little, crispy. It looks a little fresh.
No, you could not be.
It looks out of the box.
You couldn't be
fresh.
bigger of an asshole right now.
I know.
Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, go keep that snorting there. Don't edit that snort out. That's how you know that she's having fun making fun of me when she's snorting this much.
It's so fun.
All right.
All right. Anyway, back to the shit.
Yes.
All right. So, I said all that shit again. We talked about DC, and then New York is gonna be doing the same thing. I really wish I saved that one. The Black Lives Matter on the street. Damn, I don't have it at all. It's gonna take me too long to find it. I don't know what city that was, but that was amazing. Shout out to all those artists. And then with the protest, I think this was last week or the weekend before. Did you hear Chicago had like a record high on deaths?
I did not hear about that, and then I was going over the notes and I saw it, and I was surprised when I heard. Not surprised, but
Well,
it
when
was
you read-
crazy
yeah.
that it even happened.
18 kills in one day, but it was 24 throughout that whole weekend, and that's with the protests and the
Yeah,
rioting.
that's a record high.
Yeah. Because I seen a video, and it's pretty much somebody had said he was looking out, and he in the crowd they're like, holy there's no cops out here. So it was like an hour, 2 hours of just looting and crazy shit.
So those deaths happened during the protests, or were they
I
separate
believe
incidents?
so. I didn't really look too much into it. I think some might have been separate, but they're pretty much putting that it was the same weekend that they had rioting and the protests.
Yeah, and this is nothing, no shade towards Chicago, is that there's usually, you hear about a couple of killings going on in that area when there isn't any protesting. So that's why I was wondering.
it's gonna happen regardless. And it said that this is their new record high. Their last record was 13 kills in one day.
God damn.
In 1995, I believe.
With any police, anything like that involved?
No idea.
No idea. Damn.
But it was pretty. They said it like I seen a video that there were just no cops around. The cops, I guess, just pulled out because it was going to be insane. So it was just the people of Chicago.
They didn't want that trouble.
Yeah, going.
Oh
fucking
man, that's
bonkers.
scary, man. That's scary. Pray,
Mhm.
yeah, prayers out to everybody.
But
over
I
there.
think
Please stay safe.
I think some of those deaths. Sorry, I just took a sip of something. I think a couple of them or a few of them are from cops though. There were a few cops that killed.
Oh, there actually were. Oh, Jesus.
There were a few. I seen it. It was a separate article. That's why I'm like, it makes sense. It was the same weekend.
That's scary as shit.
Yeah.
Man.
Let me see anything else on the protest. That's pretty much it. I mean, we are seeing a lot less rioting, a lot less, chaos. These peaceful protests are working in our benefit because, the banning of the chokeholds, the cops, banning of aggressive force. So we're seeing things little by little.
Yeah.
Street name, a street name changing to Black Lives Matter or anything in that relevance, it's super small, but it kind of brings me back to the Obama speech. The conversation and what he had on there was pretty much take these small little victories and it's they are still victories no matter how small. Don't get discouraged because there's not going to be any major change, but from what you told me that I can never say it right, the Juneteenth. Juneteenth. I can never really say it right, but then that being an actual holiday at some point.
Looking to be a paid holiday. A lot of major corporations are treating that like a paid holiday, which I think is going to be great. I think maybe it'll become a future holiday where people just kids can get off of school. It's a paid holiday for people to take off. It's very important. It's definitely going to show more solidarity for what's going on. I think it's the next step, next logical step for companies to take.
Yeah.
I mean, there might be some ones that are just clout chasing, that just want to act like they're for the cause. But if you're going to give hardworking people another paid holiday, why not?
Yeah.
Why the fuck not?
Because I think there's a lot of people that are saying oh, these companies that they're putting that they support Black cause and this this and that, they're just saying that for surface reasons, but if it helps, it helps. Am I wrong? I feel like the companies that are doing that, whether they're genuine or not, it's still kind of helping.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, we'll take the little bit that you can give. If it helps, it helps. If it, because they're pretty much sacrificing the people. They're sacrificing, let's say, if it's makeup.
Yeah.
In that sense, the makeup, because LB, we want to fucking get the greenhouse shit. LB had all this makeup, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, oh, I haven't ordered any makeup.
That was interesting.
She has me on this whole kick now because I've been suppressing it. I've been no, I'm not gonna get any new clothes during this quarantine. I'm not gonna get any new makeup, and I seen all that makeup, and I was like, fuck it, I'm doing it. So, but when I went to go order some, as soon as you open the website, it's this whole Black Lives Matter thing. So then I had seen some other tweets where it's don't let these people fool you. They're not for you.
Right.
I get it, but anything helps because they're potentially losing customers. They're potentially losing people who don't believe in that.
Right.
So, I don't know.
It's tough. It's really tough because it's kind of like what we were talking about last week. Do we really want to get at a big corporation that hires minorities or has minorities working?
Mm-hmm.
Are we really trying to boycott all that? It's just, there's got to be a better way to go about it without affecting other people's, life.
Yeah, and not believing there should be outright change right away. And I understand that we want a total change, but it's not going to happen anytime soon.
Not overnight.
No. So if we gotta take
Gradually.
little by little, yeah,
Little by
gradually, I think, and I think that's where people lose sight of it, because they think, oh, a company just did this just because. Well, if they did it just because, then fucking let them do it just because.
But that's what change is. It's a
Yeah.
gradual change. Like, look, if
it still means something. I think
if one little small change from all this is that we get another paid holiday, I'm sure the people working that get that holiday aren't going to complain. They'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take. There is no holiday right now.
I'm still gonna have to work anyway.
Yeah,
no
so obviously, but the places that do, like an office setting, that
Yeah.
might be, you might get another day off. And for people that work in offices, you already know there is no holiday in June.
Yeah.
There's no holiday in June. We don't even get Father's Day off.
Yeah.
So you know what? If you want to have a holiday that celebrates the abolishment of slavery, why the fuck not? That's a good little change to have. I'm not saying that's what we need and that's what's going to change things, but
I always thought it was I always thought it was weird that it wasn't a holiday, or it wasn't made, it wasn't like taken seriously.
take it more seriously, yeah.
If there's a Martin Luther King Day, why wouldn't there be a Juneteenth day?
There absolutely should be a Juneteenth.
Like, it's an actual
it
day,
is,
but you know what I mean.
But not celebrated by America.
Yeah.
Well, it's celebrated by a group of people in America, but not recognized by corporations.
This happened long before MLK.
Yeah, and let's be real, the economy's not going to break down because we have one day off in June.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
All come
People
down
in
to my
bars
bar.
will still most likely work, but major corporations, offices, that type of shit, they'll probably have a day off. I'm cool with that. I can't see anybody having a problem with that right there. If it's not enough change for you, granted, we understand. It's a gradual change, but this is not a bad thing to have.
I'd rather celebrate. I mean, it's not the fact that like a day off or not, but I'd rather celebrate that than like Columbus Day.
Yeah, I'm not against it. Yeah, hell, 100% yes. I would rather celebrate this and just get rid of Columbus Day.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, teach this in schools. Don't teach Columbus Day. Don't
Yeah.
give kids that bullshit ass Christopher Columbus story that he just showed up in America and just was all buddy with the natives.
So you know how I'm an asshole, right? So
Of course.
in class, like at home, I was like, we were gradually learning as like we got older, the stories of our past and like our ancestors and shit. So, and I mentioned like in a comment, because somebody wanted to be like, oh, you should get this. No, I already know. I'd mentioned that like technically like my great grandfather was a Spaniard who bought this woman, well, this child. She was 13 years old, and she went on to have 9 kids. And then she kicked out my grandfather because he was, I think, the oldest. So it's like I can't, like, you gotta go.
Oh, just
And-
kicked him out of the house.
Kicked him out the house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was he of age?
No, he was a kid. I just can't remember the age.
So he was younger than 18.
Yeah, he was younger than 18.
Shit.
Yeah, he was a child. There was just too many kids, and it's like, okay, you could fend for yourself, kind of thing. Because I mean, back then, like the younger, like their lifespan wasn't the same as ours. So 13, 14 was probably normal to have kids anyway.
You were an adult at that. You were considered an adult.
Yeah. I forgot how old he was, but yeah, he was out on his own. My grandmother, like, if you ask her, she like goes on and on. I never got to meet my grandfather, but just that alone. So in class, it's about the 100th time I'm fucking hearing about Columbus. So I raised my hand and I was like, so are we gonna talk about how they, like, okay, cool, like he discovered, but are we gonna talk about the people that were already there? And the entire class is like, oh shit. And it was just fun. And the teacher started stumbling. This white bitch started stumbling. And then, what was it? I don't even know what grade I was in. Started stumbling. I was like, I mean, let's be real. There were people hanging in trees and blah, blah, blah. Because that's what they were doing. They were taking all the men, hanging them up, dividing all the women and children and shit like that. So I'm talking about this in class. I didn't get kicked out or anything, but I made the teacher feel like super awkward. Because I'm like, if we're going to talk about Columbus, why can't we just talk about that?
Right.
So that was my thing. And like, and not like, we talk, and I mentioned, I'm like, we talk about slavery, but we don't actually get into slavery like that. Like, it was just kind of glossed over a little bit. But I mean, I feel like this might have been middle school, which kind of makes sense. So at like high school, we actually did talk about it. In my Spanish class, I had told him about it, and he looked at me and he was like, I wish I was there for that. He was like, I wish I was there for that. He's like, wait, what teacher was this? I told him. He's like, yeah, my daughter had her class, and well, whatever. But yeah, I was an asshole at a young age. That was really funny.
That's okay. I've been there too. I've questioned the teacher a couple times as well.
All the time.
But you have to with a lot of this history, and this is where again being a parent comes into play. Like right now, one of the things that my kid's been learning while he's been in quarantine has been about the Revolutionary War, all that stuff like that. So you learn certain stuff, but they don't really delve into everything that goes on. They don't mention about the black people that were involved in the war. That
oh yeah, no.
That, you know,
Well,
that's like skipped over.
Kind of learned what's his demographic in school.
It's mostly white.
That's probably why.
It's mostly white, but that's how it is everywhere. But that's the New Jersey school system. I feel like.
Well, my like we got into it, and you seen what Hackensack was.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
And like our high school, we had 3 other towns, so it's Hackensack and I already forgot because I know like a couple of them have changed since I left. But they and those were actually the only white people that they came from there. Like it was not too many in Hackensack.
Yeah, the school system in my area does not talk much about Black history. I'll say that much. I'll leave it at that.
Now, like we had it covered, but the older that we were, like it wasn't really covered when we were younger.
Yeah, it wasn't mine either. Like I had the most they spent on Black history besides telling us about certain people like the Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King's, Malcolm X's. Like they would say like, oh, the people that invented this were Black. Did you know? Like they didn't really go into anything else.
Yeah. Now, and it also could be like teacher based too, because
That too.
I had 5th grade or 6th grade, Mr. Turner used to go off in it.
Right, it depends. You're right. If it's a teacher that's that feels very strongly about it, or is Black themselves or a minority, they'll spend more time talking to kids about it, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
Yeah, but unfortunately, you can't pick your kids' elementary school teachers.
Yeah, because these are the things that if we keep this up and it not be a hashtag or a trend for a week or two, that we can ultimately change curriculums.
Oh yeah, that's a whole nother thing too, just about what kids should be taught in school.
Because that's part of the whole like systematic,
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing. Like the stuff that they're teaching kids or not teaching kids in school that's got to change as well. Like you've seen it before, I'm sure, online about stuff that they could change, like they could change in the curriculum. Teach kids how to do with taxes. Teach kids money management.
Yeah.
Teach kids, have a fucking class where they're just showing you how to like change a tire. Like some of the small stuff in the world that we'll actually have to do more than just fucking geometry and calculus.
Yeah.
Like kids these days, I mean, look, we all have a fucking phone. For all times my teacher told me when you're older, you're not going to have a calculator with you at all times. Fucking wrong. I got one with me at all fucking times. It's in my fucking phone. The one thing I have not used yet has been straight up calculus. I have not had to use the Pythagorean theorem for anything in my motherfucking life yet. I'm not a contractor. I'm not anybody that works with that shit.
I was really good at calculus, and even physics, I was banging at. But geometry, I was not good.
I don't really need to solve for X.
No.
That's
algebra.
Algebra, excuse me. Again, see that
geometry is a little.
It goes
bit
to show
of
you how
X.
much I don't care.
Geometry is like the next level of X, and this whole bunch.
The one
of
word
shit.
that always bothered me was integer. I never liked that word.
Integer.
I never could say it when I was back then, and I hate it now, and I still don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, man. I mean, for the most part, unless you're getting a career in that field, it's not really something that I could see that kids are gonna need.
Yeah.
90% of them aren't gonna. More than 90% are gonna have a career that has to do with that anyway. So I think schools need to change the curriculum. But this is just me, throwing ideas out. I'm not the one to obviously make that change or to provide a huge plan for it. But I feel like a lot of other people feel like there's a lot of stuff in school that does not need to be taught that is being taught to our kids.
Yeah, and a lot of stuff, and vice versa, that should be taught and is not being taught.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's always based on area and based on the teachers themselves.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the next topic because we went off rails on it.
Yeah, we did. Oh, but
quick-fire.
a little bit kind of on it. So let's talk about the voting.
Okay.
So voter, and this happened before in Atlanta. Apparently, voter suppression has been a big thing on Twitter. It was like a couple days ago. So they have 7 precincts. 4 of them had 1 or 0 working machines at the locations, and these were those locations were predominantly Black. Yeah, so I was going through a string of the tweets, and it was this one guy who had said that he had applied for a mail-in ballot, but never got it in, which I have mine, I showed you. So I was gonna say, so yeah, he sent it in, never got anything, never heard anything about it, so he had to go in person to do it. His wife, I think, was okay, so she was able, I think he had to drop it off in person too, but he went to one, there was no line, no nothing, white location, and then I guess maybe his wife was somewhere else, or he was driving past or whatever, and he had seen that there was a long line. He saw people leaving, the line wrapped around. I'll show it in the video portion. Somebody had tweeted, I guess, the Google map, and you see the blue dot is where the voting thing is, and it shows the line shows
around the block,
literally around the entire block. So people at the end of the line kind of see the beginning of the line.
Yeah,
that shit looks crazy.
That's some bullshit.
And they kept saying you keep seeing the people, I guess, higher up are saying no, vote, or the people in the organizations that are pushing for people to vote are don't leave the line, this is what they want. Why are you calling me right now? This is what they want, blah blah blah.
That's a phone. It's calling. It's probably
okay. I'll break. It's about pizza. All right, we are back. Had to take a little break. But yeah, that shit looked crazy. I seen all the pictures and the videos from that. And what was it? I think somebody who was able to vote kind of stood outside, and he's talking to everybody. He's like, don't leave. He's telling me, he's like, I understand you're mad. I understand it's been hours. Just don't leave. Make sure you get your vote in and shit.
Yeah, it's crazy the stuff they're doing or maybe not doing. You never know, to keep certain people from voting.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild. For the people that don't know, the New Jersey voter registration is on the 16th of June, so that's coming up next week. So if you haven't, by mail-in or going directly to these places, at least go online, register to vote. And I believe the New Jersey elections are going to be in July.
Yeah, so the last day, the June 16th, is just for the primary election, and he postponed it. It was supposed to be in May. Murphy postponed it to July 7th. So you have until June 16th to register, which I'm already registered, so I'm fine.
I gotta register.
Huh?
I have to register now.
Yeah, and then, well, it's different or the same? If you're just registered to vote, you should be able to vote, right? No matter what?
In these elections and the...
Yeah. Are they separate
not sure.
or the same?
I'm not sure. I'll have to find out. That's what I don't know, so I'll have to look into that.
Well, let me see. So I got this oh shit, sorry. So I got this mail in. Well, let me see. Yeah. So this is about if you want to participate in the primary election. This is the vote by mail ballot. Yeah. See? Because this is also available online because I got it, but I don't think Juan got it, which is weird with the same address. This is intense. Lord. I gotta send this in.
Well, this is primary election, but is that for the Jersey stuff or is this for national?
No, Jersey.
Okay, so that might be something different.
Let me see. It should be Jersey.
But that is until November anyway, so.
Yeah, because the actual election, there's a whole nother date. October is, I believe October is usually the date where it's no, this is what you have until to register for the actual election.
For presidential elections.
Yeah.
So yes, people.
This is my first time, and I know I've been slacking. This is my first time I would be voting for the primary.
So I mean, definitely do your research because I know it sounds like a fucking broken record, but change has to start locally.
Yeah.
So we can't just pick a new president and think that everything's going to change. We have to start locally with the people in our communities, in our state, that are actually going to make a change, whether it's police reform, whether it's education reform, whether it's dealing with systematic racism, anything going on, and it starts at a local level. So you have to look at who's in your area right now, has been making noise, review all the candidates, all that good stuff. Yeah. And then when the time comes, you're more informed and you're able to make the right choice as to who you want.
1,000%.
I think that's where it starts off from, because until we can pick somebody that represents Jersey, we can't really get to where we want to get to as a nation. So we got to make sure that our state representatives are on point. Then we can get to the higher ups and try to pick a new president.
That's where it really makes a difference.
Yeah, because we're not living in California. We're not living in Nevada. Yeah. Honestly, we could probably care less what they're doing. We got to worry about Jersey right now. So once we can get Jersey back to where we want it, then we can start worrying about everybody else. But we got to start with our local representatives first.
Yeah.
And that goes for every state.
All right, so we're gonna take another break real
Yeah,
quick, and
quick break.
then we're getting to late.
Go vote. All right, and we're back.
Back in this bitch.
All right, so another run-through topic. Rob Markman of Genius, fellow rapper as well. He was mentioning something that you didn't want to look up.
Before we get into this, this was my way. All right, let's just cut the shit. I did not want to talk about him. Can we? I don't want to say his name. You can say his name.
On the Joe Budden podcast, they refer to him as Duke.
Yeah.
Duke.
And it's funny because that's why I didn't. I'm like, I don't want to give him
Look, man.
money,
Listen. So without let me just give a characteristic, a feature, if you will, of him that will help you recognize who we're talking about. A feature, Rainbow Man.
Oh,
Rainbow hair guy.
By the way,
What's up?
Gus figured it out too.
Well, of course he would. Come on,
Because
man.
Gus was like, you left her features. I'm like, oh shit, that's right. Wait, go ahead.
That's right. Yeah, nigga. Yeah.
I should
All
have
right.
out
So
that whole fucking thing. Yeah.
so if you were checking out IG this past week, you saw Rainbow Man in the studio.
Rainbow Man, I'll take that.
In the studio with Akon, and looks like they were remixing Akon's biggest joint, Locked Up.
Yeah.
That featured Styles P. Why you'd want to do a remix with Rainbow Man? I get it.
Styles P. Damn, I don't know if I saved it. He had a comment to it too.
Yeah, but Styles didn't care because I think Styles said something to the effect of he hasn't spoken to Akon in years, so it's no big deal. And come on, man. First and foremost, the original one with Styles P is always going to be the best one. Yeah. So all we saw was little clips of them in the studio together, and it was that bullshit fucking clout chase. What's the word I'm looking for? Just that whole sequence of people when they're in the studio together and they're like mouthing the words together.
That was just bullshit.
It looked so fucking stupid. This dude had a lace front wig on.
That was just bullshit.
With the head, the rainbow hair, just like if he was standing, it would have hit his knees. Like it just looked so trashy.
So I'm confused because I've peeped the lace front for some time now. Do you think it's completely gone?
What,
Do you think he has like no hair now?
I don't know. I don't know why he's wearing wigs, but
I feel like he just has no hair now.
It could be. I know he had hair when he was in jail. That was and then it was like losing color, but he definitely got an extension wig. Like that shit was just hanging down,
it's
and that
bad.
It was bad. It looks so much like a Nicki Minaj type thing. Like
they also
it looks
have
bad.
They have a
and
song,
they got a new song called Trolls, where portions of the proceeds are going to go to Black Lives Matter campaigns. Like, come on, dog. Portions.
Okay.
And the video is going to premiere at some point tomorrow. I could care less. But yeah, look, man, there was no reason to remake a classic. I don't know what Akon's deal is. I don't know if it's because they know each other, they have mutual friends in management, and they just forced Akon to come over there and work on the song. But man, was this not needed by Akon. Akon's doing so much as a philanthropist, as just a good person. To be involved with this guy to make a song, I don't get it.
I guess because there's a lot of buzz around him. Then they had the whole Billboard thing that I was debating on talking about, but I didn't want to shed any light.
I know you didn't want to talk about it. I get it.
Yeah.
I completely understand.
But it's been too much now, so I'm just like, all right, let's just fucking talk about it. Like, what a bitch. Just what a bitch.
What a bitch.
What a fucking bitch. Like, it looks so bad. It looks forced, the interactions that he's having. The fucking dumbass fight they had with Academics. Academics was a fucking dweeb in college, and he's a dweeb now. Like, I can't.
Dweeb status.
I don't understand how that person is not
fighting with my lawyer.
Meeting him at Rutgers was a fucking
just
hot
want to see
mess.
my daughter.
And then Academics actually had tweeted about the whole feature with Nicki. Nicki Minaj is probably there's a word you're missing there, but okay. Probably one of the only artists who could have been the first to feature with Rainbow Man. After all she'd been through, also mixed with the fact that she's a legend. She pretty much can't be canceled. Plus, her fan base too strong. We'll see if there's peer backlash, though. That's what he said about that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess she's gonna get backlash, but the barbs, that's too much. That's a big enough fan base to protect her.
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely couldn't stop. They didn't do any damage when Cardi took over.
No.
And they didn't do any damage when Meg took over. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they'll save her out of this. I mean, I'm sure she's already getting backlash. She's already getting hate towards it. But with her, I think it's more of a thing like she needs to be relevant more than Akon needed to be relevant. Because Akon's past that space where
He
He's
doesn't
just
really need
he's
to.
made
Yeah, I
so
thought that
much
was kinda
money.
weird to do a song with him.
Yeah, when you're to the point where you don't have to make any more music, and we know you now for what you're doing for other countries and for other people,
Yeah.
you've already gone past the superstar status. Like you
Mhm.
are a megastar.
Yeah.
The last thing you need to do is to come back down and work with this guy.
It just didn't make sense to me.
Nicki Minaj is at a point where she was big and she's trying to get back to that point because she hasn't been too far away from it, and she's looking to do it any way that she can.
Yeah.
And to do a song with him is definitely going to put her on top of the clout chaser or whatever you want to call it, or just the top of the relevancy list
Yeah.
doing that. So I can see where she would want to do it. To me, it seems kind of like trashy because it's like, okay, now this is what my career has come to.
I just think she does trashy shit.
Yeah, I think that maybe she can't make the hit herself anymore,
Yeah.
so she had to jump on with somebody, and who better to do it with than this guy?
Because to me, like, her talent, I'm not knocking it. Like, she is talented,
She's talented.
as fuck. It's just the way she goes about things. It just looks so bad.
Yeah.
It looks so. Let me get my shit back.
It's bad.
It looks, huh?
No, I said it's bad. It's bad
Yeah,
the way it's
oh.
happening.
It's just so bad. And then to like her petty shit and. Yeah, like, you can call this trolls, but it also is, I'm sure, in the song itself, I'm not going to listen to it. Other people can tell me that it's going to be about trolling in some form or fashion.
Oh, we're the ones you love to hate, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
That's how I picture the song right now. And we're going to keep talking shit because we're trolls. That's the only thing I get. If this turns around and ends up being a complete Black Lives Matter moment, I'll be surprised as shit. But
It's done.
if that is the case and you're calling it trolls, then you got to
Yeah.
take a step back.
Yeah. The way I feel about all this, guy's a bitch, and I'm completely, I mean, Rob Markman is a legend to me.
Yeah,
And
shout out to Rob Markman.
I side on that. So I quote, "The new version of Locked Up is meant to make you upset and get you to hate, click, and share their benefit. Your energy is too valuable. Don't give it to them." And that's just how I feel. And
I
then that's
agree.
the last mention of Rainbow Man. I'm sure there will be another one, but I just don't.
Rainbow Man's going to come up more and more, I'm sure.
Well, no, I mean, like, for me. I'm sure at some point we're going to have to talk, like, just now, there's just been so much shit. It's like, okay, whatever. I guess we have to talk about it. But I'm just so over it. Oh, but we didn't get to, do you want to get into the Grammys and the labels, what they're doing, or no?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So, Grammys, let me pull this up. So, they changed 3 of their categories. Best Urban Contemporary Album is now Best Progressive. I'm a little weird
and look,
about
again,
R&B album.
This goes back into the whole gradual change thing. Like, look, change is happening. It's small. It may not be the change that we're looking for, but certain places and people are making these little changes. And it comes to stuff like changing the name, like getting rid of the word or the term urban. Like, I, for one, have never been in agreement with that word.
No.
I think it's a shitty way to hide the fact that you call it black music when a lot of this music is derives from black music. Like, let's be real here. So the fact that you have a category called urban, because there's no other category where it's just white,
Yeah.
Middle Eastern music, Asian music,
There's country, that's about it.
country, but country can be anything, right? Country doesn't necessarily mean white.
Yeah,
It's
but
predominantly white, yes.
It's predominantly white, and they also stick with white because they didn't want what's his name in there. They didn't want Beyonce.
Oh,
they
that's a
didn't
whole
want
different
what's
thing,
his
yes.
name, Yeah.
But
Even
country,
though it was country.
but
Yeah.
hip hop music is not called black music.
No.
Just like country music shouldn't be called white music, even though a lot of people do it. A lot of white people do it. But yeah, still, same thing there. Yeah, it should just be the genre.
Yeah.
Like, there is no genre called urban. It's hip hop.
Yeah.
There's hip hop, there's country, there's R&B, there's rock, and then the subgenres. At no point should it have been called urban.
Yeah.
It's just a slap in the face.
It is. Like, when I was looking, like, for internships, it was, like, right before I dropped out, and I never even went through it. But looking for internships for labels, I was looking in the
urban section. Yeah,
the
and it's a
urban
shame that you'd have
section.
to even call it that, like urban.
Yeah, when I seen that, it was like, it's facts of life, because I don't want to intern for an A&R doing country. Like, that's not where my ear, like, I can't, I
But
want to be
it
able
should
to
have
pick
been
that
enough
up.
for you to just say hip hop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or R&B. Like, that's it. There's no reason to call it urban contemporary.
No.
And now, yeah, we're going for a more progressive name, but then don't call the new name progressive.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I'm like, I get you're changing it, but that progressive thing is just weird. So I'm confused. So it's best urban contemporary. Was that always R&B?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
I don't really watch the Grammys. I haven't watched the Grammys in a long time.
Contemporary to me means that like it's current, what's going on now.
True. Well, because I always figured it's not pop, but yeah, no, it makes sense.
But it's like I don't see why you couldn't just call it hip hop and R&B.
Yeah.
Like there's no country contemporary.
Yeah,
there's no rock
they don't
contemporary.
have any. So we already said the first one. So it's only two two category changes, and then the other. Oh, the battery's low. It'll cut off. What was I gonna say? So there's only two category changes, and then the third one is something else. So the second change is best rap / song performance is now best melodic rap performance.
That's corny. They could have kept the rap singing collab. That's.
I felt like it could have just stayed.
That could have stayed the same.
Even if it was a collab, the person rapping is not always necessarily melodic.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
Yeah, whatever. And then best new artist is now not it's not capped by the number of prior releases.
Okay, well that's
Before,
different.
I forgot the standards behind it, but I know it was capped at a certain number.
Well, to me, it's always like, look, if you just have one major studio release, you're considered a best new artist, or
Yeah.
you're considered a new artist. If you have multiple ones, fine. But like, let's say Lizzo,
Yeah.
she had 3 albums before this one that came. Oh, excuse me, 2 albums before the one that she got nominated for best new artist. The one that she was like making a lot of noise this past year at the Grammys, but she was still considered a new artist.
Well, my thing is, if it's best new artist, technically, wouldn't you just go by like debut albums?
I agree. So Lizzo then shouldn't have been considered in that category if you had 3 albums before that.
Because she had prior.
But were they major label debuts? Because that's what it comes down to. Like, all right, your debut is a
True.
major label debut.
I would consider, so for them, it would be a major label debut.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And that's it.
Like, you're not going to count any other EPs, projects, whatever, even if it was like an album technically, but a tape, or like, mixtape. Major label debut. If they have 3 albums, then they are not a best new artist.
No, they shouldn't be.
No.
They should just be in the best whatever category the music is.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be based off who's hot right now, because Lizzo's not new. She was hot, but she's not new.
Right. And that's another thing that the Grammys going to have to work on as well. Like, you got to get more people that actually listen
And pay
to that
attention.
genre of music and have
Yeah.
them voting. Not just have someone that you'll vote for because that's your man's label mate.
Yeah, just more awareness.
Yeah. So that's definitely. So again, gradual change. It's cool, but obviously a lot more can be done. Hopefully, a lot more gets done.
Yeah.
I'd like to see.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'd like to see what if we're talking about just Grammy. I'd like to see the Grammy committee put more money and more funding into music programs for schools that are in like poor areas. I think that's a great start.
Yeah.
I think that could be done because you guys, every time I see the Grammys, whenever I have, they always take a break and the president of the Recording Academy comes out and he talks about all the programs being put in place in the schools to get kids to have instruments and learn more music and music education. But okay, so let's take it a step further. If you guys are willing to do these name changes, let's take it a step further and put a big donation to these more impoverished areas and make sure they have music education. Make sure that you have another way for them to keep off the streets, whether it's just an instrument, music education, take them somewhere. Like, let's do more than that way and not just a name
100%.
change.
Yeah, I feel you on that one.
That was it though. Yeah.
So not only the Grammys, but now labels. Well, the Grammys is not. I don't know, and I doubt it. They're not donating anything that I'm aware of. They could be.
They'll probably wait around Grammy time.
Yeah, but labels are now slowly giving in. Well, not giving in, that sounds bad. But so we have Republic Records, Sony, Warner, UMG, and then another this indie label that I heard are donating, have donated, or like they're what is it called? They're committed. Like they have a whole plan set. So the indie label that I'm talking about, 10K Projects, they committed to a 5-year program or a 5-year plan, I guess. And they're going to be spending $500K over with this plan for their 10K Together program, and that's going to be set in the LA area.
Oh, that's what's
So
up.
that's going to, and all of these are all that they're allocating their money across like a bunch of different organizations. So you have UMG is doing. They established a task force for meaningful change, including a 25 mil change fund. Warner pledged 100 mil. Sony also did 100 mil, and they're also, according to Billboard, matching employee donations. And then Republic Records, they've removed urban from from quote our verbiage in describing departments, employee titles, and music genres. And along with that, they're doing 25 mil.
It's crazy, bro. Like,
Yeah.
just call it hip hop and R&B. Like, you're putting them both together and giving it a name and calling it urban.
Yeah, but these labels have also been around for forever. Back when, like, I'm not excusing them, but that's all. They're like, okay, well,
They didn't know what to call it when it first came.
Yeah,
You're
they
right.
didn't know how to approach it. If they said anything bad, I'm sure they're like, okay, we're not gonna get artists in, things
But
like
check
that.
how weird that is. Like, the fact that even was an issue back then. Like,
Yeah.
you guys didn't know what to call it back in the 50s or whatever when you guys brought on these acts. So you just gave it a name. Oh, we'll just call it urban.
Yeah.
No, well, you have a country division. You have a pop division. You have a rock
So
and roll
just-
division.
Yeah.
So why not just call it hip-hop and R&B, or your hip-hop division and your R&B division?
Yeah, because in urban areas, we don't only listen to hip hop.
You're right. And no one
I listen.
no
to
one
rock,
else calls it
so-
urban.
No. Well, we don't. No.
We don't. The only reason that we had called it that was because that's what the rest of y'all have brought it up.
To me, urban is like an insult.
Urban is an insult. It really is, though.
I've always, like, growing up, it's just like cringeworthy. It's a little bit. It is
Yeah, you know,
cringeworthy.
like I've heard from before. Oh, you're just from the burbs. Yeah, that's. But it seemed like a derogatory term at the time. But like, so what? But I'm not gonna say, oh, you're from the urbs, from the suburbs. You're from the urban area. Like, that's a stupid, shitty name to use. I never liked it.
I forgot who it was. Somebody had made a comment like about where I live, and I'm like, okay, like I don't how
Like, what do you want?
So I get insulted if I live like in the hood, and now I get insulted because I live in the suburbs.
Oh, you
Okay.
can't win.
No, I'm like, all right.
If you're in a
then
too white
don't
area, then
come
you're
by.
too white. But if it's in a hood area, you're too hood. And don't
Yeah.
fucking come then. Either way,
Oh my god.
get over yourself.
No, I remember now because the same person who made that comment, like, I guess she grew up around me or whatever. Like, at the time, she was a friend of mine, girlfriend or whatever. And she had made that comment and was like, oh, yeah, this place is cute because they were looking into moving together and talking about a house. I'm like, well, before you get a house. Oh, well, no, we're gonna get into a condo. I'm like, condos suck. Like, why don't you just get a apartment, a starter kind of apartment,
Yeah.
and then your starter, I was talking to her about it. She's like, man, like, I know how to get around things. I was in real estate. The bitch, they ended up living 2 blocks away, the same fucking complex, and it was funny. I was telling my friend the other day. He had mentioned I don't talk to them anymore. He had mentioned it. He's like, oh, they broke up again. They're one of those couples.
Oh, okay.
These bitches, when I go for my little jog in the morning, I pass their fucking apartment. This bitch had the balls to say, like, I'm just looking, I'm like, okay, so you're pretty, so like, she's shitting on where I live. I'm not happy about where I live, but, I make it do. Like,
Yeah.
I do what I do. Like, you need some place to go from.
Right.
And I'm not moving back to Hackensack, even though it's a lot nicer before when I lived there. I'm not living in some bullshit place. And for her to shit on, I'm like, a few months later, oh, what happened? I felt like saying, like, well, what happened to the condo?
Yeah, you don't want to be petty though.
No,
You could have.
I really could.
You could have ended her right there.
I really could have.
But it's all right.
Yeah.
Cooler heads prevailed.
Yeah, for once.
Uh,
For once.
Fair enough. So to bring it back to all that, yeah, the urban term should have been gotten rid of a long time ago. And
Yeah, for real.
calling it progressive is somewhat of a change, but
Yeah.
not really. Do you want to break and get another one?
No, let's just get it through. That was actually, I think, the last of our thing.
Okay.
We don't have to get. We had this whole talk on
We
Drake.
should save those for yours. Ooh,
Yeah.
for our guest. Excuse me. Well,
That's-
you got it.
Yeah, it's whatever.
We'll
It's
save
fine.
those for our guest.
We'll save
But
it for the guys.
that really is everything though.
Yeah, no, that's everything.
Yeah.
So I just figured we can just bullshit for the next 10
that
minutes.
was good. Well, bullshit like what?
I don't know.
Okay, you want me? I'll say something.
Go ahead.
Okay. I hate saying this word. My mom had me reflecting on something that she said. And we'll leave it at this. And this is for any parents. All my life, I had it in my
I
head.
had to fight.
I had to fight
Sorry.
all my life. No, so growing up,
Uh-huh.
my biological father was not there. My younger brother's father was for about 7-8 years.
Yeah.
Me and him never got along. He was an angry, mean-spirited dude. Always felt like he didn't care about me because I was a step kid.
Mm-hmm.
And we just always clashed heads. I didn't want to listen to him. I only wanted to listen to my mom. You know, we would disrespect each other. He would always complain about me. And I was like, I told myself, man, I hope when I have kids, I'm never like you.
Damn.
I'm at my mom's the other weekend, and I find myself yelling at my oldest for little stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And she sits me down and she tells me, I just want you to know you're sounding like him.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, what do you mean? I was like, the way you're doing it right now,
Knife, like,
that's
in the
exactly
gut.
knife in the
Damn.
gut. She's like, the way you're sounding right now, the way you're talking to him, that's how he spoke to you, and you never liked that.
Shit.
Now, and she's like, look at him, he's just like you. And he's at the age right now where you and him weren't getting along. Do you really want to go down this road?
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit. And she thought when I was speaking back, she thought I was trying to look for any. She thought I was being combative and just trying to like argue with her and be like, we're not the same.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, you're right. And she thought I was joking. I'm like, no, mom, you're right.
No, like I'm not joking.
I'm like, mom, I'm
You
not
are,
joking.
yeah.
Like, you're absolutely right. Like, holy shit. And I had one of those holy shit moments in front of not only my little brother,
Mhm.
but you know, everybody.
Was your
Everybody
son
that was there. Yeah, everybody was there.
Did he understand your son?
No, because I had to speak to him about that a couple nights after. I apologized to him.
Yeah.
But it's like, holy shit, I have a lot of changing to do as a father. Because
you're kind of bringing. That's where the generational curses come
right,
from.
and
You're bringing it over.
And the curse, and then I'm like, holy shit, the curse wasn't my biological father. It was my stepdad. I'm following in his footsteps, and I never even thought about it. And now when I look at it, every time I yell, holy shit, I'm yelling at my kid the way he yelled at me. Even though I had no father, that little bit of a father that I had, of a father figure, stuck with me.
Yeah.
So where I always
as
thought
a man,
that
you grabbed to it.
right,
Yeah.
and where I always thought that, yo, I don't know how to raise kids. I never had a father. I technically did, and I'm taking on his traits. And I'm like, and it blew my fucking mind. I was like, holy shit, I'm having a moment right now. And I had to shut down. I got off my phone. I just sat down and I just like was thinking for like a good hour and a half about like, man, this changes everything.
Yeah.
And now it's just like I'm so more self-aware and so conscious of what I'm saying to my kid. And I don't get me wrong, I've still yelled at him the same like ever since then. But like I hold myself accountable now. Like, holy shit, he's gonna end up hating me. I gotta chill. I gotta talk to him.
Yeah.
So that I've learned that in the past week, and it's fucked with me so much. But it's also like made me realize a lot. And I need to like step up my game as a father. As much as people say like, yo, you're doing it right. It's a tough job, and there's so much more that I have to learn.
Yeah, because when you're trying not to carry your past into it, and then but it kind of seeps in, it sneaks in, and you don't notice it until like your mom points it out, like because she lived it.
Yeah.
So she's like, no, like you're being just like him.
Yeah, I'm being just like him, and it was like my whole thing these past
You probably
9 years.
terrified.
Yeah, these whole past 9 years of a father who was like, don't be like him. And the him I was referring to was my own father, meaning that you're not going to be there. You're going to leave the country and be with some other woman.
But you forgot a whole nother, yeah.
Yeah, but
That's crazy.
yeah, so now I'm just like, oh, I forgot about this guy, but he's actually been in the back of my head the whole time, and I've been raising my kids off of his lessons.
Yeah.
Which were terrible lessons.
Because I think that's why, like, I mean, not that I think, he said it, like, my brother is so, he's so again, like, I'm not having kids, like, no. Because he doesn't want to be his father, but then we'll keep saying, like, we understand you don't want to be your father, but then, like, my father was still around, was still there to raise you. So he has both father figures to kind of, like, okay, who do I want to be, what type of father I want to be, but he's so on it with the biological one that he's just, it terrifies the shit out of him.
Yeah, and it's
like,
tough
I don't
enough.
want to be like that.
It's tough enough being a father anyway. Like, yo, I mean, I would explain this to anybody that has kids and is in or gets to see people that have both their mother and father. 9 times out of 10, the father's the bad guy. Like, I'm the bad cop. In all ways. No matter what's being asked of me, they're gonna go ask mom afterwards.
Yeah.
Or if they ask me first, they're definitely gonna ask mom, especially if I say no. So
Yeah.
it's like no matter what, and I'm the one that has a louder voice. I'm the one that's always like telling them to mind their manners whenever we're out in public.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like it's a tough enough job for me anyway. But the last thing I want to do is make it so that he hates me or resents me as he grows up.
Yeah.
That's the last thing I want to do. So, Mom, I know you're not listening, but I'm gonna thank you anyway, just for the words that you said and making me realize that I was turning into a monster without noticing it. And I got a lot more work to do to get that Dad of the Year status.
Yeah.
So, but that was one crazy thing that I learned about myself this past week, and I will be working on it and will be improving and will come out a better dad because of it. So yeah, thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom. Yeah, that was tough, man, because I was about to fucking cry when I found that shit. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, that would fucking.
It's like I had a breakthrough, like when you're in like you're in therapy and you just find something out, like, holy shit, maybe this is the reason why I'm. Yeah, that's what happened. So I'm here.
Wait, I'm sorry.
All right. For the record, she's not laughing at what I said. She's laughing at something off her phone.
It's so funny. So there was this guy.
I really wasn't asked. I had to like.
I
had to make sure people knew that, so you weren't just laughing at my pain.
Yeah, no, I'm not laughing at his pain. No, I mean I usually do, but I wouldn't laugh at that. So I open up Instagram because our next would be, if you don't know, that's coming up. So I'm about to get it, and I see that I have a friend request and like a couple likes. So I go to check it out, and it's funny because I never got to talk about this. I actually ran into her a little while back. She works at a bar like close by, and then it's weird. It's a long story, but anyway, so there was this girl. Did you have Jehovah's Witness in your school?
No, but I had a friend that was.
So we had like the like their family and like from their church and shit. Like we had with the jeans, skirts, and everything, and we always knew she was what she was, whatever. And then high school, all of a sudden she's like 2-3 years younger than me. She's like 2 years young. I remember when I was a junior, she was a freshman. She got to school, and all of a sudden, like the first few days, jean skirt, then bam, booty shorts. She would change, and I never caught this. I was driving into school, so like I didn't go through like the main entrance, but people would tell me how her mom would drop her off. She would be there, all Jehovah Witnessed out, and then by like, what's the not first period, homeroom, yeah. So by homeroom, she'd be completely different.
That's weird.
Yeah, well, trying to break free.
Yeah.
So it was funny because I remember her in middle school. She was always like, one of them. Like she was cool, but I never really talked to her. High school, she was a big old slut.
But you know what? That's something that comes
Rebelling.
with being sheltered.
Yeah.
Like it's a real thing. Like I didn't get it growing up. I see it now all the time, and I get it.
She was literally. I mean, she was working with the football team and actually working them. And I think soccer,
you did tell me about that.
And baseball.
About some girl that was
maybe not soccer. I think it was baseball.
You told me something about that, about this one girl.
Yeah,
you did.
So that was her, and it's funny. I ran into her because we have a family night. Our family night, like industry night, is Sundays. So we usually all go to one, like the same bar. It's like a Fairlawn area. So we go, and and I see her. I'm like, she looks so familiar. I'm like, whatever. And then she's Sade. Like the fuck. So I mean, I know half the people in that place, but I'm just like, why would you just call me like that? Like half the people there don't even call me by Sade. So I'm just like, the fuck. And then and it's the same one, and I guess she just found me on Instagram. It was so funny.
Oh, small world.
And she is, I can't.
Well, maybe she'll check out the pod.
It was
she'll
funny.
hear this.
Oh well, it was funny because I seen her and she was in uniform, but she's still. So I already knew since high school. I had said it. I'm like, she's most likely not gonna follow those footsteps. Like she's probably just gonna want to be her own person.
Yeah.
And that was as much shit as I talk about her being a slur. She was just being her own person.
Yeah.
I support the hoes. I need to live vicariously through somebody, and it's just disappointing.
And it tends to happen more.
That Joy is wifed up now because that's one less hoe that I get to hear stories from. So it's cool. Whatever. I already told her.
Joy, I still love you.
I had to talk. Well, in our group chat, I was like, Maria, don't I'm counting on you. She's like, no, I still got host stories. You're good.
That's great though. No, shout out to Joy. Joy seems to have a little new man.
Yeah, she didn't want to admit it.
She didn't want to admit. It's
first.
cool though.
No, in the group chat, and I was like, she said serious situationship.
Well, look, I saw him walking hand in hand during the protest.
Serious situationship.
Situationship is
and I
crazy.
was like, bitch, if you don't call that a relationship, you can't have serious and situationship.
That's some millennial shit right there.
For real.
That's millennial. We got a situationship going on.
Yeah, like I understand like people using that, but don't add serious to it. Situationships aren't meant to be serious.
You know what situationship sounds like? The new age term, new millennial new age term for talking.
Technically, we're millennials, so.
We are millennials, yeah.
So talking is our thing.
So then, so situationship is a new age term.
Would be what Gen
Gen
Z?
Z?
Yeah.
It's a new age term
I
for
think
that.
she is Gen Z.
Situationship.
Joy, you're Gen Z. We're just gonna throw you in there. You're Gen Z. I think she actually does fall into it though.
She's got Gen Z genes.
I think she's like 96, 97. So yeah. Well,
Oh, Gen Z genes.
Gen Z genes. Okay, hold on. Oh my god, no, whatever.
We'll go with that. Gen Z genes.
So is it time?
Yeah.
It's
It's time. Oh
time.
shit, I
And
forgot
if you
about
don't
the
know,
fucking-
now you know, nigga.
Do you not have yours ready?
I do have them ready. I just didn't know we were doing them so quick.
Oh.
Calm down.
Flying through this.
Yeah, a little bit.
Um.
Okay, so this is our world famous segment called If You Don't Know, where we give y'all a little taste of what's going on and who we feel that you should be in touch with going forward. Now, this person here, not a rapper, it's more of a producer. I met him at Where Beats Meets Bars. Shout out to True and Living. And I don't know his official name. We've only met very randomly. It goes by the name The Hitsystem. Producer. Out of Jersey, obviously. He just put out a brand new beat tape, 10 songs, 10 beats, called Sounds from the System. I'm not sure which one I should play right now. They're all pretty much dope. But I got wind of this last week. Yeah, a week and a half ago. No, yeah, when he first announced it. And there's a lot of good ones in here just based off the, with beat tapes, I usually just go off by the names, the titles, because there's no other really way to explain them. But there's a couple cool-ass titles on here. Sunset Kush Boulevard, Sunday Service, Popeyes, Prophecy, because it's got the word pro in it. But I think the one I'll play right here is Atlantic Ocean at 10 p.m. So this is Atlantic Ocean at 10 p.m. by the Hitsystem. Brand new beat tape, Sounds from the System, available now on all streaming platforms.
I'm like, you can play it.
Watch your fucking mouth.
Can you put the volume down, please? Oh, this is nice. Oh.
So this is Atlantic Ocean at 10 p.m. Anytime I've been at the Atlantic Ocean at 10 p.m., I've been smoking.
Oh, we gotta get him.
And
on.
doing many, many illegal activities on the beach.
We gotta get him on. I think, well, next month will be like our next
Yeah,
guest.
we'll shut up.
No, I mean like for a month.
Oh,
It's nice.
yeah, I've rapped over his beats when I was at Where Beats Meets Bars. Like I said, we met a couple of times. We have not kept back in touch because I haven't seen him in months, and, due to the pandemic and stuff. But hopefully after this, we'll be getting back in touch. So Hitsystem, I see you, brother. Again, that Sounds from the System. This is Atlantic Ocean at 10.
I still don't know what I'm gonna do.
I mean,
That's dope.
10 beats of that dopeness. Check that out. That was the Hitsystem.
Ooh, my leg. Okay.
If you don't know. All right, who you got?
Alrighty, I found it. So, my If You Don't Know is gonna be CallMeMisfit. He recently, I don't know if this was like this week or, let me see, soon enough. He well, whatever, I'll say recently. He dropped a track called True to Myself. And it's funny because I heard it, and it's wait, hold on, did he perform this
Yeah.
at my show
No.
or no? Oh, okay. Cause I thought about it. I know I've seen him perform. I've heard him perform it, but I didn't think it was.
First time I heard it, it was at Boone Tunes for a Mad Minds event.
Oh no, so I wasn't.
And I
there.
went right up to him. I was like, yo, that shit is dope. I made a similar one. It's a little more sped up.
Yeah.
But a great fucking track. And I let Obi hear it. Obi was very impressed. So whoever the producer is for that song did a great fucking job. And no, it's a great song.
No, it is. It's good. Let me start playing it now.
It wasn't intentional, but I guess it played out for the better. Hold on, you'll have to excuse me. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out tonight.
No, it's a
I know
dope
a
track
couple
though,
of y'all have
and
been
then
waiting
he
for me to get back to the
also,
basics.
on the same post
So
that
I'ma
he
need
was
you to repeat
promoting
after
it,
me.
he also
I
has new
can.
music coming out tomorrow
I
on the
will.
12th, so this
Be
will be
true.
already out. Oh, that does
Be
sound
me.
awfully familiar.
I
What's
can.
up?
I
And then
will.
again on the
Be
26th.
true. Be me.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, like, it's the sample basically on the song is the same sample I have on Blow My High, which was on Kick and Snare.
I will.
That was the first thing I noticed when I heard this. Because you can't, that
The real can
saxophone
only
is
understand.
fucking unbelievable.
That's my brother, but he got another mother, and if you're looking past his color, you're uncovered, damn. That there really is no need to
Take a
shame.
throw on this.
We living in a
killed
world
it.
that need
He
a
killed it.
Yeah,
change.
I
But the
do
truth
like
is
him.
we all
I
bleed the
like,
same.
He's got
Carmen.
great
Just
energy.
open
Every
up
time I
your
see him.
eyes
Now
and
you're
I'm sure
ordinary.
enough
I'm
you'll
like, I
find we all
told
need to blame
I was like, all right, I know
someone other
CallMeMisfit,
than us.
but
Whether
now
love
you're
or it's
ordinary
lust,
is really
broken
fun,
heart
like,
or it's
people
trust.
vibe
Maybe
with it.
I
He's
just
like,
need
call me
meditation
whatever.
to stick the facts that we're faced with.
'Cause there were a
I'm
lot of
selling some
people,
these
like, even
artists,
guests
but
would be like,
clearly
oh,
there's
now
no
you're
relation.
ordinary.
I'm
Like,
trying to keep all y'all heads up just like
I
I'm
was like, I don't think I had,
I'm face to
because I
face with
usually, like, if
conflictions.
the
I'm
girl
at
on
a
the
place in
show,
my life in which
I
a
don't
depiction don't
really
mean
know your
nothing at all.
Instagram like that.
Stand for
Even
nothing
if
and
you sign
forever
through
your
it,
fault.
I'm
I
not
learned
gonna
that
know
lesson
that you
in
had
heart.
performed
I learned some
unless,
lessons the
like, when I
hard
start
way.
doing
If
the
you
videos
follow your
and, like,
heart,
tagging
you
and
never
shit like
promised
that.
an off day. It's no walk in the park, nor a stroll down the parkway. I'm not sure that you see that the boardwalk is in Broadway. I just can't get involved. I've been all in like all day. If you ballin' like Spalding, then you'll go ball like LeBron. Ayy, put my life on the line. And despite where you'll find.
So good. So yeah, that was True to Myself, Call Me Misfit. So dope. And then he has 2 more songs coming out shortly. Well, tomorrow and then the week after. Can't wait to hear from him. He's so talented. He really
He
is.
is.
He's dope.
Great
I fuck with
performer
him a
too.
lot.
On top of
Oh
that,
no, he is amazing. When he was at Check It and did like that little, I guess, a mashup of 2 or 3 of his
Yeah.
songs, I was like, no, you got to come back and give me like a full song, like a full fucking
hey,
song.
maybe in a future guest, you never know.
Maybe. Yeah, he is a dope. Yeah, you could tell he has a good soul. He
Yeah.
does have a really good
Yeah,
soul.
yeah. So all right, so that was Misfit,
Mm-hmm.
Not Your Ordinary. You can find them on IG and also the Hitsystem. So shout out to them for being part of If You Don't Know for this week.
Yeah.
Where's my audio
okay.
sample?
And if you don't know, now you know, nigga.
If you don't know,
Yeah, shout out to everybody. I'm gonna do an air horn for our guest that was supposed to be here, but that we'll see this weekend.
but it turns out we're gonna have a much bigger and better episode
Oh.
for that.
Oh, I can't wait. Oh, I can't
Oh,
wait.
this is gonna be a hell of a chop up.
Oh my god. I don't know. Should we have that recorded too? What we're gonna? No.
What?
No.
Have that episode recorded
No, I'll just do like behind the scenes stuff.
and not record the episode?
No, we're recording the episode.
But
I'm
what did you not wanna-
saying
oh, the
I'm
other
go-
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, behind the scenes.
I'll do behind the scenes.
Yeah. Do your thing with your
Yeah, because
camera.
he's like, if you want, you can do photo shoots. I was like, I'm.
Now I'm gonna act like
taking
I'm.
some shoots.
Now I can't
Oh,
be
now
posy.
are you gonna be posy or no?
No, I'm not gonna. I never was posy to begin with.
You were posing.
Yo, I
You
want to
gave
see his
me-
pictures.
I had like the chin up and everything.
Bullshit.
Cause I'm telling you.
You know what it is though?
And it's funny. I didn't even mean to take a picture of you. I was trying to get what was behind you, and then you just came. I was like, oh.
Oh, and I just came in the frame.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even remember taking that one. I think I literally at one point I was just like click 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 at the end of it. I
That
was
would have
like,
been
"Can't
funny
do
if
this
I
anymore."
come in the frame. You're like, bro, put your hands down.
No, there were some people I felt like yelling at, but then I had to remember like I'm not. Like it was like I'm at a protest. Like I shouldn't be yelling at people to get out of my frame. So
Yeah.
I was like, nah.
Excuse me, can you move? You're in the way of the sign. Yeah.
No, oh my god, I had such a beautiful shot of this guy and his son, and this fucking motherfucker, yo, just got in the way, and I'm just like, oh you bitch. So I'm literally like ducking and weaving, trying to get him, trying to get the picture that I was able to, but it came out blurry. That was the only thing I was mad about. I think I got one good one, but it's not the same.
Real quick before we go, then, let me just get your opinion.
What's up?
With we've already talked about people clout chasing during this whole thing and people doing stuff for the gram.
Yeah.
How do you feel about people that go out of their way to pose for these pictures that they're protesting, to show that they're protesting, to give you
The one we were going through with the greenhouse bullshit.
kind of, yeah, just a person that just feels the need to go in front of a big Black Lives Matter poster and put their hand up just so they can get a picture? Like, how does that seem genuine to you?
Well, I mean, it could go either way, honestly, because I intend to, like, for my kids, I intend to show them these pictures. To
Right.
be like, this is part of our history. This is what I did. Blah blah blah. Whatever. So, if you look at it if you look at it at that perspective, or if the person had kids at the moment and is like, you know what, this is what I want to show my
Right, but
kids.
they weren't posing.
What?
If you were gonna take a picture of them, like I thought you were talking about the father and son you saw.
No. Oh, no. I'm not saying
Okay.
about them two. I'm just saying the person who's posing, if he is posing, a guy, whatever.
Yeah, guy.
For instance, then maybe it could be like that. But at the same time, I can see it, how it can be.
I just think it's real corny. Yeah,
I'm here.
I think you're there and you're appreciated for marching and for protesting.
Yeah.
But I think when you go for the photo op, it kind of kills the.
There's a major difference between a photo op for like the gram, or just wanting to record what's happening, like wanting to make like record of that you were there and this is what happened.
I just don't see a situation where I would go to you and be like, "Yo, Sade, real quick, get a picture of me in front of the sign," while I go like this.
Oh no, I would laugh
with
at
my
you.
fist. Exactly. So
Yeah,
that's
I
what I
laugh at
feel.
you.
When I saw, that's what I feel like
Okay, no, I can
happened
see that.
there.
I can see that.
And like, because you're looking right at the camera, because you couldn't wait to post it online.
Yeah, no, that would be a problem for me, because if you're getting like just if you happen to be taking, like, I seen some selfies, but if you happen to be like, this is what's going on, there is a difference, and it's definitely an approach too, because you could be caught on camera and not be posy or be like, oh, can you take this picture of me?
Right.
Like, there's gonna be a shit ton of pictures.
Or it's even worse, we tell someone to take an off guard picture of you.
Oh no, that's just fake.
So imagine that at a protest.
No, that's horrible. That's really bad. I realized, what was it? There was some people that, like, if they felt like I was taking a picture of them, that
They would stop.
kind of cover their face. Or I had some people posing. There were some. That's
Just-
why, like, I was
yeah.
joking that
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
posing, you weren't, but they were people actually posing. I put the camera up to catch like what was happening, and I noticed that people like looked and like started posing. I'm like, okay, I'm not doing that. Like,
Yeah.
you just fucked up my shot. Like, I don't want you to pose.
It just kind of kills the authenticity of it.
Yeah.
Like, I like to just have everything in the moment. Like, there's times and places for people to pose, like an actual photo shoot.
Yeah.
And even those, the shit I did for We Are Jersey with Mr. David.
Mm-hmm.
It was tough for me to pick some poses and actually go with it. And I look at these pictures now when he sent them to me, I'm like, oh, yeah. God, that was bad.
I know. I wanted to kind of, like, I was talking to B. I kind of wanted to help you.
And
but
coach me
then-
through it.
Yeah.
That would have been nice, but I understand.
Because I did tell B, because me and B were talking, well, no, she had mentioned it. We were talking about, like, packages and shit. And I was like, well, if we do a package for, like, a press kit and they don't have pictures, then why don't we just include that in the package? Like, they pay for, like, a photo shoot or whatever.
Yeah.
And then in that whole talk, she had mentioned how guys are kind of, like, they're bad at posing.
Yeah.
And I told her, I was like, well, in that case, you would need, like, a director.
Yeah, I don't mind someone, the photographer telling me, like, hey, you know what? Sit down, put
Yeah.
your hand on your chin, like,
Yeah.
look this way. Like, I wouldn't mind that at all if it's going to bring out a good pose.
Yeah. Usually, like, when in the past, whenever I have done photo shoots, I'll say something.
Yeah, like,
But most of the time, I do candid shots or performance shots.
right, and I appreciate those, too, because those look a lot more authentic.
Oh, there's so much. There's, to me, like, it's way. I was talking to B about it. I'm like, I can definitely, like, I want to direct videos, and I'll direct photo shoots too. But it's just easy. I mean, she said that I'll be doing it, whatever. But to me, it's just easier if you're behind the camera.
Yeah.
Because there's a whole vision that's behind it.
Yeah, 'cause I'm not the type of guy to ever like taking pictures, so I don't know the first thing to do when you tell me to pose.
Yeah.
Like, I stand and half the time my face isn't even looking right. So, yeah.
Well, we can do some on Saturday as well. I wish.
Like, that's-
Damn, I wish this was recording.
Like, that's one of the poses. Yeah, it doesn't work.
It can be, yeah. Because, like, she had mentioned it. She was like, guys are fucking horrible.
Guys
Blah,
are
blah,
horrible.
blah.
We don't know
So,
what
yeah.
to do because we're not used to just doing fucking million photo shoots like you girls do. We don't
Yeah.
take selfies.
I have to get back on my selfie game.
Like-
But there are like you just have to, I guess, practice it like you practice like your rapper
Like
hands.
I have a guy friend of mine. This guy, he takes pics like he's an IG model. This guy can take a pic of anything and make it look so artsy and shit, but yet he's not a photographer. He's not a model. But the guy is just good at it.
Yeah.
I think maybe it helps because he's the pretty boy in our crew. So he's the one that the girls will gravitate to first, and the front like, oh, he's hot. So he's just used to doing that, but he never was a
probably,
selfie guy.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
he's so good at it. Like,
Yeah.
and this is gonna sound super super gay, so I'm gonna just say pause right away off the bat. He could, if he was gonna take dick pics, he probably would make them look spectacular.
It is an art.
That apparently it is an art,
is
but
an art.
I feel like he could do it more than anybody if he was gonna do that shit. And then we'd have to take classes from him. Like, hey, bro, can you show me how to take this right dick pic? Trying to get the length and the girth looking right as possible. Pause again if applicable. But I feel like he would have the talent. We always joke on him about that shit.
Oh my god! What was it? When we had left here on Saturday to go to the greenhouse, my friend that was outside, he was like, I don't know what, like not Picasso. Picasso paints. I'm trying to think of a good photographer, but he was amazing at dick pics.
Okay.
Yeah, and me and him had never fucked around. It's always a joke. Like after when we went to Juan's cousin's house, he was there, and anybody that really knows him, especially like I don't know if he does it now, but it's more so like 10 years ago, like when we were in high school and shit. If you knew him, you seen it. If you knew, and I kind of like
That's wild.
there was one summer where I had like
If you knew him,
where
you'd see it.
we almost like we lived together for like a few weeks to a month because our friend's mom was always in DR, so she always had open crib. So I was just like, well, fuck it, if I'm gonna drink and smoke and just chill here, I might as well like it ended up being like a weekend, like I'm asleep here. Then all of a sudden it ended up being like a month, and
Yeah.
then he also kind of lived there too for a little bit, and it was the wildest shit. And yeah, if you knew him, you seen it, and it's ongoing joke. No matter where we are, if he's around, it'll be brought up. Like, you seen it? Yeah, I seen it. Yeah. The first day I met him, I had picked him up, and our friend in Florida, she was in the passenger, and then she's like, oh, I just gotta pick up my friend Angel. Oh, I'll believe.
Oh
Who
my
cares?
God.
Who cares? It's just a name, whatever. She said, oh, like, can we go pick him up? So I go to pick him up. He's in the back seat, and then he's like all like, oh shit. He's like, what was I gonna say? He's in the back seat, but like leaned forward. He's like, oh, I gotta show you something. He's like, let me know what you think. Puts the phone. I just see dick. I'm like, oh, that's nice. What was your name again? I just met him.
Oh man.
And that within an hour, not even, 5-10 minutes of meeting him.
That's a hell of a
Just dick.
Just
Dick. we would like, and it's funny, we never hooked up, nothing. We would, like, I would pass out when this one kind of lived together. I would pass out. I would wake up. Mind you, he would be in the next room with some bitch. And then I guess, like, whenever he kicked her out, he would come over to the bed that I was in, and I would wake up with him, like, wrapped around my leg or wrapped around me. And I'm just like, nah, Angel, I can feel it on my leg. You need to go. You need to. He's like, it's just morning wood. I'm like, you need to go.
It's just morning wood. Wow.
And this is
It's
gonna.
just dick pic. It's just morning
It's
wood.
like a lifelong friend.
All right, so we'll leave it at that. Dick pics. All right. I don't want to shout out
It is
anybody.
an art, though.
It is an art.
He
It
used to
really
criticize.
is.
He was like, nah, man, the lighting. I'm like, I can't.
You know, like I see now, like it's about angles.
It's all about angles.
It's about the angles. That's what I gotta learn. That's why I don't take no pictures like this, because I'm just like that with the chin out. Yeah. So you gotta hold it at the right angle. So yeah. So what a shitty way to end the episode, but we're gonna end it that way. So you can find us at the Lyrical Fix Pod. Be sure to check out all of our episodes from 1 to 41 today on Anchor, Audio Mac, Apple, Spotify, as well as YouTube and a bunch of other podcasts that I can't remember the names of right now. Be sure to like, rate, comment, subscribe, give us the 5 stars, keep us hot out in these podcast streets.
Damn right.
And be sure to watch out for the clips that we're always dropping with our guests. And I'm sure we're going to have a bunch of clips from this episode as well that'll be up soon enough.
Yeah.
And what else we looking for? That's it. Did you drop that? If you don't know from last week, did you drop that yet?
Yeah.
You did? Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 2 clips. And if you don't know, all right. So we'll keep dropping clips.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking to do some more stuff. We're definitely gonna get our video together, and we're gonna be in a cooler place, hopefully, for the next one. Yeah. And shout out to everybody that's been rocking with us. Shout out to everybody that we've seen at these protests and everybody that we've seen in between, whether at Greenhouse or just out and about. Looks like everything's starting to open back up again in Jersey, but please remain careful. Please remain clean, wash your hands, all that stuff. And remember, Black Lives Matter is not just a Spirit Week type of thing. The fight continues. We got to keep showing love. Got to keep supporting. Even if it's not protesting, you got to keep showing love. If you see some injustices, call them out. If you see people acting weird, racist, shady, call them out. If you see any more injustice towards minorities, people of color, black people, call them out. Let your voices be heard, because it's not just a Spirit Week. This is a marathon. Got to keep fighting. Got to keep fighting. Got to keep pushing.
Straight.
I had to talk about something besides dick pics, and this is more important. So, yeah, as always.
I could have edited it and moved it.
You could have. That's right. So, anyways, this is the Lyrical Fix Podcast. My name is Kid Pro.
And my name is Sade.
And we'll catch y'all next week. Peace. Wash your hands. Wash your ass.